Every day I wake up waiting out the door. Nintendo news I can't ignore. Hovering my finger on refresh, repeat. Searching for the leak, my heart's gotta beat. My body is ready for Switch 2. Can't wait much longer, what about you? Standing in line just to hear something new. Nintendo, come on, give us a clue. Rumors flying but nothing confirmed. It's been a mystery, my patience burned. Gotta level up with my imagination in this endless game and stimulation. Whoa, my body is ready for Switch 2. Can't wait much longer, what about you? Standing in line just to hear something new. Nintendo, come on, give us a clue. All we want's a peek, a hint, or a sigh. Just a little nod won't make us cry. Joy-Cons at the ready, hearts in sync. Nintendo dragging on, making us think. We've been resetting time and time again. Our love for Mario, it never ends. Zelda's gathered from the nether horizon. This weight is harder than fighting in us thing. My body is ready for Switch 2. Whoa, 2. Can't wait much longer, what about you? Standing in line just to hear something new. Nintendo, come on, give us a clue. My body is ready. My body is ready. My body is ready. My body is ready for Switch 2. My body is red. My body is red for Switch 2.
All right, everyone, welcome to Mario Kart Direct Day. Oh man, it's gonna be a good one. I got a good feeling about today. I know a lot of you guys in the chat are already putting a little pressure on Nintendo. They got to justify that price, right? We'll see what happens. I'm already sold, but Stash got to play it hands-on, so I know he's already sold.
Oh, yeah. 10 times over.
But, oh man. So yeah, it's about an hour, guys, about 56 minutes from now. We have the show for you guys. It's gonna be wonderful. We'll probably be live for about 45 minutes after that, just doing reactions and getting your guys' reactions as well. And there is a plan to do the Nintendo Bite podcast bonus show tonight, just about this direct. Probably gonna not be like a 4-hour show because it's only about a 15-minute direct, but probably get an hour and a half in there, and we'll probably have a lot to say based on whatever they announced today. Maybe, I mean, we're also kind of hoping some pre-order news today would be really nice to discuss as well. But we don't know. We just keep hoping that they're going to say something, and they keep not saying anything. They also keep not changing. Like some people think, oh, they're going to delay the release in the U.S. Well, they aren't budging from the release. So, and we're also creeping closer to May 8th, which is when the first pre-order wave goes out from the My Nintendo store. So they got to address the pre-orders at some point. They're literally going to have people pre-ordering in like 3 weeks from the store. So, all right. So what we're going to do here is you guys can just get some of your questions in if you want. You can either at Nintendo Prime or at Thunderstash in the chat. And we'll talk about it. You can obviously super chat and get featured on the show as well. Don't have to do that, of course. We'll try to get to your questions anyways. I see a couple already. Most people just saying good morning. Dylan Manning had a question though. He said, "Is there a way where you can race on each track in a traditional 3-lap form?" And I'm also not a big fan of the whole driving to the next course concept. I hope you can disable that. So, here's the thing. Obviously, you've never tried it, so there's that. I mean, can't knock something till you try it. You gotta at least give it a chance. That said, Bill Trinan teased in an interview that the 3-lap thing still exists. He teased it in an interview and he said, just watch the direct next week or, on the 17th, right? Oh, we announced the direct. I'll just tell you, yeah, you can still do a 3-lap thing. It might not be part of the standard Grand Prix. It could be part of a different mode. I don't know, but it's still a thing. Bill Trinan said as much. So if you're hoping for 3-lap thing, it's still a thing. It's just, you might not be part of the standard Grand Prix. I don't know. It could be a different type of Grand Prix. That being said, that will be in, but I will say you should give this something to try. Give the new stuff a try before knocking it. They're obviously trying to evolve Mario Kart, which is wild, man. Because they've never. I think the most evolutionary thing Mario Kart's ever done was what, Double Dash.
I think so. I think that's fair. That has to be.
Yeah, I can't think of anything else that's they truly we could talk about how they added 200cc or they added going under the water and flying through the air stuff in
the
Mario
gravity.
Kart. Yeah, the gravity stuff. But again, it was more so you're still just doing a normal race. They're just changing your perspective. It wasn't revolutionary, I would say, in the way taking Mario and doing the gravity stuff in Mario Galaxy, because it still just acts just like you're driving on a normal course. I mean, even going under the water, okay, it's still just acting like you're driving on a normal course. Whereas in this game, it's actually kind of interesting because they pretty much added wave race mechanics, and it doesn't feel like the same as driving on a road. I mean, it's pretty interesting that they're definitely trying to evolve what Mario Kart is and what Mario Kart can be with this game. And part of that is, driving between the courses and trying to make that fun and interesting. Is it fun and interesting? I don't know. It might be the first time you do it, but is it interesting the 7,000th time you've done it? That's the big thing. Mario Kart's always been about repeatable fun, and is that is a concern some people probably have. It's driving between the courses. Is that repeatedly fun every single time, or does it get old? And no one really knows because no one spent enough time with the game to know. Obviously, having a lot more courses, a lot more variety, maybe some other continents could certainly help, because the more variety you have, the less boring things tend to get. But yeah, 3 laps is in. There's a super chat here from Jimzo saying, "Hi, please rewake R by Lisa featuring Felix of the Stray Kids." Okay, we don't do music on direct streams, so sorry. I'd say you can come back tonight, but we have podcast. We don't do it on podcast either. So no, yeah, we just don't do music requests. Basically, you put $10 into one poker machine and it lost, and I tried again on another one and you won $245. Hey man, congrats.
Nice.
See you at the casino or something. Congrats, man. Those poker machines, they can sometimes be kind of fun. I like to do the actual poker at the casino, but yeah, those machines could be fun. Congrats on that, man. Sorry we can't do your music request. We don't want the stream getting copyright claimed and stuff like that. This is an official Nintendo Direct stream, so as in, okay, not that official. we don't work on Nintendo. Dylan says, will Rosalina's Aura costume from Mario Kart Tour be making its return, or Aurora, sorry, because I love seeing her wearing long gloves. Can imagine they would be pretty soft and warm on her arms. I don't know. Obviously, we haven't seen it yet. I am sure there's a hell of a lot more costumes than they're showing off. That's usually one of the unlockable things in Mario Kart. So
I'm expecting a ton, massive amount.
Yeah, so when you played it, each costume was like a character slot, wasn't it?
There's some speculation about that, right? Because when I played, I chose Cowboy Mario.
Yeah.
right? But I don't know if, say, by getting one of the food items in the game, obviously you get the food item and that changes your costume. I don't know if that then unlocks a costume in the character select menu. Now, there's been some speculation about that,
Yep.
but we just don't know yet, right? Because, for example, one of the races I unlocked the Famicom 3D Dirt Rally game, Mario's
Mhm.
costume.
Mhm.
But then after that race, I got moved to another station to go play knockout mode. So it's not like I got to go into another race and be like, oh, let me see if that costume's available now, right? Or let me see if that version of Mario is available. So there's no way to actually follow up and see, unfortunately. I
Yeah.
just have to
So
imagine they have a ton. If they have all those, if they have that item, right, on every track, there's got to be a ton of variety.
yeah, and I will say, like, one thing to remember about when we're watching the footage and it looks like every costume is a character slot. These are demos. Like this is not the full final game. So that might not actually be what the setup is. It might just be because people kind of figured out like, oh, how many characters there might be and stuff. But if it's just a bunch of costume variations, I think that's probably not the case, and there probably is like a selector to choose your costume for one character. I just think that it's a demo, and demos are always not indicative of the final product. As Stash just said, he was playing one thing, and then he had to be moved to a completely different station to play another mode in the game. So it's like the demos might not have had everything going in it and all the content because it might not have been the final game, which could make sense in a demo environment. You're trying to limit what people can see, right? Versus the full game. So, well, yeah, the full game's obviously done. The thing launches in like a month and a half. It's still they're hiding things so that the demo stations aren't going to have everything. And maybe the easiest way for them to limit the characters and the costumes was to just say, let's just put them all in as a character select in the demo and just be done with it. I don't know. Well, that would be nice to get confirmed today as well. If they show the character select screen in the final game, that'd be nice.
Yeah, that was one thing that I wanted to do when I first got the controller to play is go through the character select screen. Like I already knew when I saw Cowboy Mario, oh my god, that's where I want to go. But I made sure to scroll through it and get that recorded so we could at least get an idea, for everyone watching, see how many characters there are based on the demo that I was playing. One big talking point it seems is the whole deal with not being able to mod out your cart this time around.
Mm,
Have you noticed that? I've seen a lot of people talk about it. I just saw it in the comments, and Andres Fincher mentioned it. He hates that they took the ability to mod the cart out. Uh, One thing I know is that, and they'll probably talk about it today, but you can get like stickers,
yeah,
right?
it's almost like a mini achievement thing that gives you a sticker that you can put on your car.
Yeah. Now, I can't imagine those stickers doing anything outside of cosmetics. I mean, I could, which is why I'm bringing it up. I just don't think it's likely.
Yeah,
But imagine if they were like modifiers.
yeah, yeah. Locking modifiers behind
But then how do you balance the
you
game?
meant, yeah, that's not a very good balance. I think there's just going to be like because there's no cart modification, at least as far as we're aware. Um, that maybe there's just going to be a shitload more carts, just in general, just a lot of options, so it doesn't look like everyone's driving the same thing every single race. And I think that's maybe their balance to that being like, no, we still give you a bunch of options. You don't get to customize it and look weird out there. But we're also trying to like, I don't know. They're just going in a different direction than they did with 8, which I think is also one thing they wanted to make sure is that this game differentiates itself from 8. And that is such a Mario Kart 8 thing that, yeah, okay, we don't want people to play this and think it's 8. And that's one way you can't modify your car. It's one of the first things you do at every race. And they're like, no, you can't do it this time. Oh, I'm not playing Mario Kart 8. That's one reason why I really think they did that. and to simplify the choices. Basically, your stat modifiers are going to be what character and what cart you choose. That's your stat modifiers. As from what I know, maybe the costumes also play a role in modifiers.
I was curious about that. I feel like there's more to it than just changing the look, but maybe that's all it is. But we'll find. God, we'll find
Yeah.
out
Yeah.
soon.
Yep. Super chat in from RTX Sock 32. I'm primed. That's right. Get primed up. It's time. It's not time yet, but 45 minutes. Thank you so much for the $2. Let's see here. There's a lot of another super chat from Joey Pitts as well, saying let's go. Let's see if I can feature that one. I forgot to mark it. Oh, there we go. Got it. Joey Pitts, thank you. Let's go. I think I also saw you, Joey Pitts, saying you'll drop $5 for every Kong showed today. Someone's hoping big time to see a bunch of Kongs. Let's hope. I mean, let's hope for my sake. I'll take $5. Yeah, hey, how about they drop like 20 Kongs today? That'd be great. All right, let's get to some more questions here.
It would make sense too with the game coming out in July. I mean, honestly, like just to entertain the idea about more Kongs, it lines up with the game.
Sure.
Maybe not today, but they're coming. They're coming, right? There's going to be characters introduced in that game or classic characters. They're coming for sure.
Christopher Colazo says, has a battle mode been announced yet? You're hoping for one. No. I mean, the answer is no. There hasn't been one announced. Could there be one? Sure. They've had some sort of battle mode going all the way back to the OG, basically. So I feel like that's probably something they would do. Dernul says, do you think with the $80 price tag there will be something like a campaign mode? I mean, look, a popular theory is there's some sort of single player they're hiding. Story mode, campaign mode. There's been footage. It looks like there's kind of sort of bosses out in the world. What's up with that? Why are those out there? Are they just Easter eggs? So yeah, I mean, there's something. They wouldn't have a dedicated direct if they weren't hiding something.
There's been some discussion about a battle royale battle mode.
Sure, yeah.
Especially with that open world aspect of it.
I did choose like watch the Mario Kart 8 Direct to set expectations. I'm going to tell you why I'm not going to watch the Mario Kart 8 Direct. That was on the Wii U. I wanted to like let you sink that in. Like that is a totally different era of Nintendo. They had totally different leadership. I don't think that helps with expectations by looking at the Mario Kart 8 one. Because again, it was so long. I mean, it was over a decade ago. I don't know that really sets any expectations. You can go back to things like the 15-minute direct they did for Super Mario Bros. Wonder. And look at all the new stuff they announced in there. That's a more recent example under current leadership of them actually doing a lot in 15 minutes. You'll saying, hey, just hopped on. How are you today? Don't forget to get some rest. I'm awake for the day. The rest period's over. It's time to get to work.
Yeah, I'm up for the day. I'm working right after this. I'm ready. Yeah. My body, it's ready. This is it. The day has started. I put on my Nintendo music this morning. Kayla's sleeping, of course, doing the AirPods. It's like, what are some tracks that like I haven't listened to in a while? Listen to the old Super Nintendo Rainbow Road, but from Mario Kart 8. I'm like, this song's really good, actually, man. I prefer the N64 version. That's my favorite, but man, what a soundtrack. I'm excited for things that people aren't talking about too, like the soundtrack.
Mm-hmm.
It's so good.
Matthew Dornan said, if you look at the map, it is symmetrical. Yep. That's not surprising. And if you fold the map over the y-axis, the courses are opposite theme related. Well, yeah, I mean, you don't even need to do that. You could just literally look at the map and see that. Nintendo does that kind of stuff all the time. It's like a core concept of their game development at times is how they make that stuff symmetrical and opposite of each other. Stephen Ball says, Thunderstash, how awesome would it be if we got a mode to build our own tracks?
Yeah, and the thing is that, look, 1985, 86, Excite Bike did it there. They did it with the F-Zero X expansion kit for the Nintendo 64 DD. The point is, they've done it before. It's been a long time as far as giving you that option in a racing game made by Nintendo. It would be cool. Do I think it's likely? Not really, but we can dream. We have to, right?
Mm-hmm.
That would be really cool.
All right. Michael J just wants to let people know that Lexar's SD Express cards are coming back in stock. I'm well aware because Eric ordered one. You have the terabyte order in that's arriving on Sunday. Go down Lexar, getting that restocked. I don't know how many orders. Yeah, he's got
I love
his.
that. Yeah.
Mine arrives tomorrow. So yeah, we're all just on pins and needles with those SD Express cards. They're probably going to sell out again. And I'm actually in talks with Lexar. They might be working with the channel, trying to help you guys get some of these cards. So it's going to be a couple months. So they said they got to wait till they have like tons of stock on this stuff, but because they're trying to ramp up production. We're in talks. I'm actually meeting with them in person at PAX East to try to iron out some details and obviously go hands on with the products. Not that I won't have an SD Express, but I have nothing that can use the speeds. I have no way of testing the speeds right now. I have nothing in my possession that uses Express. So until the Switch 2 is here, but I'll get to see the speeds tested in person there. So that'll be cool.
That will be cool.
And any other products they might have going on. But yeah, no, I'm in specific talks with them to work together on not just sponsoring stuff for the channel, but trying to get you guys like discounts and trying to find a way to make sure that we are promoting when they're available, because they're one of the few that are doing the 1 terabyte right now. That's the one that's hard to find. There's not a lot of companies doing the 1 terabyte Express. And that's what excites me, is that they're one of them, and they were really reliable during the Switch era. So Chris Gonzalez says, please tell me there won't be pay to play options. What do you think this is? This is a Nintendo game, right? There's no way that this is like one of those mobile games where you got to pay to keep playing things. No way. I won't even worry about that. Can you even name a Nintendo game on Switch that does it? Not on phone, on Switch, that forces you to pay to play besides obviously buying the game? Like, I wouldn't even worry about that. That seems like just worrying to worry. Or maybe you watch some negative YouTuber out there that was just making up bullshit.
I would not worry about that at all. The day that happens is the day the world changes.
Yeah, Nintendo would have to be in a pretty desperate spot for something like that. Let's see here. How long was the Mario Kart section of the Switch 2 Direct? It's a good question. I actually don't know. Did they cut it out and put it up on their YouTube channel? That might be a good way to check.
They did. Did they for the Direct? I know they did for the Treehouse. They got an awful lot of screen time on the Treehouse, that's for sure.
King94 says, do you think if it wasn't in content creation that you would just wait a little bit to buy this console, or would you still try to get it day one? Well, I wasn't a content creator when Switch came out, and I got it day one. Telling you, I'd probably still be getting it day one because I am a massive Mario Kart fan. I love it, and this is the first new one in 11 years. That's day one for me.
I've bought Mario Kart on day one for every console and handheld since Mario Kart 64. Bought Mario Kart 64 at Best Buy, had it pre-ordered. Super Circuit on GBA, Double Dash, like you name it, every single one. There's no way on God's green earth that I wouldn't pick up Mario Kart on day one or Switch 2 on day one. Because again, I've picked up every Nintendo console on day one and handheld. I've been there. I've camped out for pretty much all of them that I've had to, right? People weren't hyped for Nintendo DS. Didn't have to camp out for that. But I was first in line for Best Buy to open. But yeah, since GameCube, man, I'm prepared to do whatever it takes as well this time. And trust me, you do not want to set up a tent in Phoenix, Arizona in June.
You want to cook?
Dude, I was thinking about that. I'm like, oh God. Because normally, I wouldn't say normally, but like look at Switch. That was March. Wii U, GameCube, all November.
Yeah.
Totally cool to camp out. June? Whole different story.
Everyone bringing their homemade AC units to put in inside the tent.
Yeah, that would not be good, man. So I don't know if I can get my body ready for that.
Not Quite Dead comes out from Stash's channel saying, can't wait to watch this later. Thanks for the hard work, Stash. Gotta go to bed.
Thank you very much. Not Quite Dead. I appreciate it, man.
Let's see here. Nerdy Seb says, do you think the $80 price could include the DLC, or do you think they'll charge for it? What do you think, Stash?
Do I think $80 includes the DLC? I think it's possible that it would include maybe a first wave. That would make sense. Maybe there's no DLC. Maybe this is a game that's just supported from day one. And the cost you pay up front gets you everything in the game.
Sure. So I just saw a good time now for saying for spamming, drop the price in the chat. One, anyone gets timed out, guys, for spamming. Two, we're not Nintendo. So telling us to drop the price doesn't do anything. we have no control. So we're not the ones that you should be yelling at. Let's see here. For me, I don't think it includes the DLC. I think they were very clear about saying, no, we think that $80 represents the value this game offers. So I think, no, DLC will be extra. And I think all of it will be extra. And look, it's a game I'm putting 1,000 hours in. So how am I going to complain about? I mean, you watch. I'll put it this way: I bought Mario Kart 8 on Wii U for $60. Then I bought the $25 DLC on Wii U, so there's $85. Then I bought it again on Switch for $60. Now I ended up not needing to buy the DLC because it was included with NSO for on Switch, but that's already $145 I spent on Mario Kart, the last one. So I'm actually probably spending less because I don't think they're going to re-release this on the next Switch. Not when it's a launch game for this one. Well, we'll see. Joey Pitt says he likes that the Nintendo Music app is tied to your radio. You can just free roam. Oh, he wants it. He wants it tied to your radio, so you can just free roam, listening to aquatic ambience all day long. Yeah, I think it's probably one of the most played songs on the music app.
Yeah, no doubt. That and like Sticker Brush Symphony, probably Dire Docks. There's so many good ones, and there's still so many they need to add. Like Pilot Wings isn't even on there yet.
Oh, that's true.
Give me that hang glider theme.
Shout out to Danger Dave 1992. became a leader on the channel. I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for that. Let's see here. Next ad I'm seeing here is Michael Gutman. If I pre-order through Nintendo, will I get the Switch 2 day one? Well, I would hope so. We can't control when they do it. And yes, Nintendo just went live. There's no music or anything. They're not like PlayStation. They don't put a bunch of music on their thing. They just put it up live so everyone has a chance to get in and get those notifications. And I have it up. I have it in 4K. You guys won't see it in 4K, but at least not if you're watching here. That said, you know, it's going to look all right. It's going to be 1080p for you guys here. Let's see. Mona is congratulating me on 145K. Thanks. Yeah, we hit it during the podcast last night. Yeah, whenever my next actual stream is, we'll do our little 145K. I like to appreciate every 1,000 subs we get. It's there was a time this channel was struggling to get 500 new subs in a year. So every 1,000 means a lot. So because I do so many streams, we bring it up on the stream and we do a little celebration for it. So, but thank you, Mona. 145K it's special. You guys remember how long we were stuck at 70K? How long we were stuck at 130K? And now it's been like 5,000 new subs in the last month. So thank you to everyone who subscribed, all the new watchers we have. Appreciate it. The podcast is growing. It's fun to see. Stash's channel is growing. Yes. You see that little trophy over his right shoulder?
I gotta turn that on. I thought about that.
I noticed where you put it on the podcast. I was like, oh man, that he perfectly positioned that. Oh yeah.
Yeah. It's got to give it the prime location.
Yeah, for those who don't know, that's a thing me and the podcast group put together for him hitting 100,000 subscribers. So he's growing over there too, and deservedly so. If you guys haven't checked out his Switch 2 experience coverage, it's like the best
There you go.
out there. So yeah, that wave. Oh, he's gonna get lined up just right. There it is. The wave.
Let me get out of the frame.
What is it? Oh, look at that.
Here, I think we can go a little closer.
The only
That's
thing
as close as I can go. It's 400x zoom for you.
There you go. So yeah, we tried to put I looked really hard to put like a guy on the back, but just none of them could work unless I wanted to get a much bigger fake little ski thing. I'm like, no, we're not getting like a 30-inch fake jet ski. All right. How big that trophy would have to be. That thing's already heavy. Imagine it's basically like life size.
Yeah, it is really heavy.
But
it's of high quality.
I got a super chat from Joey Pitt saying, no, thank you too for the content and community y'all got going. So welcoming, well informed, and fun to be around, and accepting of my DK love. Well, dude, anyone who loves DK is always welcome. Come on, it's Donkey Kong, man. Goes back to the OG days of Nintendo and the arcades. Come on. RTX Hack says, read the AI summary on the Mario Kart stream. Is it just a bunch of drop the price stuff? That's what I'm assuming. I'm assuming that's all that's being spammed in here. I'll do a refresh because I didn't even have their live chat up. Viewers are commenting on the game's price, with some asking for a price drop, while others are defending the current price. Yeah, I mean, okay. So yeah. I mean,
yeah. It comes down to dollars and cents. Just break it down, you know.
I will note, at least right now, drop the price isn't the only thing I'm seeing in the chat.
Look, man,
these people are coming around.
This is such an easy math equation, right? How many hours divided into the price? That's your cost for entertainment. Then start comparing it to your other costs of entertainment, right? Going out to the movies, the premium entertainment. How much is your cable bill? How much do you pay for all your streaming services? And how much use do you get out of them? I know plenty of people that have every streaming service. but they only watch a little bit here and a little bit there because life happens, right? But you have all the services. They got Spotify, they got satellite radio. Also, you add all those up, it gets pretty expensive per month. And how much of it do you actually use? And how much enjoyment do you get out of it too? That's a big one. Because, right, when we play these games, we get so much enjoyment out of it for such a long time. I mean, I have so many NES games on my shelf, SNES, N64. I mean, these are things that you can play your whole life. So we may talk about how many hours we spend playing them because the Switch tells you how many hours you play. But if you think about it, like some of these games have been with me for 30, 35 years. They're the original ones I have. I look at it in that way. Timeless entertainment. It all maths out.
Michael J says, do you think if you get the console from Nintendo directly, they ship it and you possibly get earlier than actual release day? Probably not. Nintendo will probably be the biggest stickler on making sure that when they ship, it's a selected specific day. Amazon and others in the past have sometimes had them arrive like a day early. Very rare. But yeah, I would not like, oh, I got it directly from Nintendo, so I'm gonna get it sooner. I mean, you might get it a day later. It's the way shipping works. So yeah, that's why a lot of people like being like in-store pickup or in-person pre-orders, because you're pretty much guaranteed you're gonna have it on the day. Whereas when you do online, you don't know when it's gonna arrive. And if it does arrive on launch day, sometimes it won't arrive till like 8 or 9 at night. And then, you're exhausted. And when you took the day off to play and it's not even there. So, yeah. So, I mean, look, it's online orders. You never really know. Julian says, I won't see it in 4K here either way. So I'd rather enjoy it here. Okay. Sketch says, Thunderstash, keep up the great Switch 2 coverage. The GameStop Switch 2 memory cards, are they still worth it or are they too slow? Everything I heard about those memory cards is that they are made by SanDisk, the GameStop branded ones, but they are slower than the Lexar, because they're charging $150 for the 1 terabyte, but they're 100 megabytes slower. Does that mean they're super slow? Well, of course not. I mean, look, the max of the extreme of the standard micro SD tops out at 240 megabytes per second. The Lexar ones, I think, go at 900. We're talking about read speeds. Yep. Read speeds are what matter. Yeah, we can talk about write speeds, but read speeds are what matter for gameplay. The GameStop ones are 800. So they are slower, and that's why it's cheaper, because they're not the top speed. So is it going to be too slow? I mean, look, they said Express is required. I don't think any Express is going to be too slow, because there's clearly a minimum speed threshold they want you to be at, and any Express card is going to be above that minimum speed threshold. So it'll probably be fine, but would things be just slightly quicker? Sure. But will most people notice? Probably not. I mean, it's true on Switch. Like, if you get like a normal cheap micro SD, then you get the extreme one. The extreme one does load things a little bit quicker. Do most people know the difference? No. And I think that's going to be the case here. Most people won't notice the difference. But one, I like the fact that I'm going to have my hands on it tomorrow. That's nice. I know I already have it. I don't got to worry about it, any launch day snafus with having one. And yeah, look, if I'm gonna drop a shit ton of money on a micro SD card, I might as well get the best.
Yeah, that's how I look at it too.
Yeah, like $50 difference. I know it's a lot of money, but also, I mean, yeah, but I'm gonna be using this thing for 8 years, so it's not just a now investment. The only way it's ever getting replaced is if they finally drop a 2 terabyte one. Which, if anything go with micro SD cards, when did that start to happen for Switch? Towards the end of the Switch's generation. So, all right, I don't expect 2 terabyte for like 7 or 8 years. So, let's see here. Did you miss anything? No, not yet. Nothing's really. I mean, look, the direct's in 20 minutes, so there's nothing to miss yet besides their chat spamming, raise the price and drop the price back and forth, and Wii U 3. I don't know how it could be a Wii U 3. That's an interesting one from the official live chat. Thank you guys so much on the congrats on 145. I do appreciate it, guys. The video yesterday blew up. Some people mad at the video, some people happy at the video. Hey, all I can say about my video yesterday is I dropped it. It got a lot of attention, and Nintendo fixed it. I don't know if we had anything to do with it. Probably not. But they did fix it. There's no more misinformation on the Nintendo Today app. Of course, I say that. I didn't check it today. So did they fix one problem and make another one? Let's find out. No, just the Mario Kart Direct. Okay, that's about what I figured. Ooh, no. Okay, they do feature the straps today, but it's properly named anyways, and the image is of the straps. So, yep. So it looks like just the one snafu that they left up for almost an entire day. That was really the big thing. But Nintendo of Japan, when they woke up, it sounds like, yeah, we'll take care of that. I still remember when YouTube used to say you had 139K subscribers. I mean, all of us have been getting high from edibles or whatever. Oh my god. Joey Pitt says Thunderstash, gaming value for my money. Like when I buy a snack for my kid, loves in bulk, and next day they don't like it anymore. It's terrible value. Mario Kart World's amazing.
Right? That's a good point.
I don't have that problem with my kids. They know what they like. They'll eat the bulk. I will say, though, they like Cheez-Its. The last bulk Cheez-Its I bought, we still have some left. They'll eat it, though.
Those expiration dates, too, have changed a lot.
Yeah.
Have you noticed that in recent years?
Probably because they realize that we need to have better safety.
Yeah. Shelf life has been reduced dramatically. It feels like it's been cut in half.
But probably for good reason. There's probably really good reasons.
Probably, which is good.
Yeah, like maybe you shouldn't keep something like a bag of chips and say it doesn't expire for 3 years. I'm not so sure that that's a good thing.
No.
What are you putting in it that this chip was made from a potato, then suddenly it's still good 3 years from now? I don't know about that. It's kind of like the McDonald's burgers, they never mold.
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen this, but like even milk, at the grocery store, when they sell milk in like obviously not the gallon, not the half gallon, but like the pints, sometimes that milk is good for like 3 months. Have you seen that?
Yeah, it's insane.
I'm like, how? Why?
How come your milk lasts that long, but then other people's milk is like 2 weeks?
Yeah, something ain't right with that.
You called it, the 1 terabyte sold out again. Yeah, it was in stock this morning. I'm not surprised it sold out again. That's why Lexar and I aren't officially working together yet, because they want to wait till like they're not worried about the sellout, right? Because the sellout kind of makes like working together pointless. Like, how can I help you guys get it if they just don't even have it, right? So they're working on it. They did not anticipate that they would basically be one of the few doing 1 terabyte before launch. They thought Samsung and SanDisk, everyone would be in. No, everyone's not. So they're trying over there, and I'm sure they're also being impacted by all the crazy economics going on right now too. Let me see here. I just brought up the Nintendo stream via Nintendo Today. There's actually music playing on the wait. Of course, the Nintendo Today app has music. God damn it. They're just trying to convince everyone to go to Nintendo Today instead of Nintendo Prime. Thunderstash. Damn it. Let's see here. Thunderstash Gaming from Steven says, funny thing is, I bet a large majority of those in Nintendo's chat will buy it anyways. I mean, but they got 24,000 people watching. I bet a majority of those 24,000 are buying Mario Kart World.
They will.
The people in the chat only represent like it's probably like the same 100 people.
Yeah, 100%.
You gotta remember, most people that watch aren't actually chatting. Like even just look at like if you're on like the Nintendo Prime stream, right? We have 520 people. We don't have 520 people active in the chat. Stash has got like 38, 40 people. He doesn't have 38, 40 people active in the chat. The chat is always like a very small percentage of the people actually watching. Most people don't care what the chat is saying, or they're just there to be entertained, or they just want it in the background, right? Like when I click on participants, oh my God, I got 520. Right now, my active participants in the chat are less than 30 people. So let that sink in. 520, less than 30 active. That percentage probably holds true for Nintendo. Most people don't give a shit what the chat is saying. There's no, they probably even closed it. I guess you say it's prime time. You'll see yourself out. That's all right. Let's see here. Ludo the Great says expiration dates are not legally required in the US. It's all dependent on the manufacturer to decide. Yeah, but there's also one of those things where lawsuits. That's what they're all worried about. It usually comes down to someone got sick off a product that wasn't expired yet. Someone sued them. Let's maybe not make the expiration date be so long. And I think there are certain things that have requirements with expiration dates, but I think it's more like fresh produce. I could be wrong on that front too. Like there has to be some sort of requirements of fresh produce. Like you shouldn't go to the grocery store and you go to buy onions and they're all soggy, wet, and molded. Like I don't think that's like allowed, but maybe it is. I guess I wouldn't know. I've never seen it. I have seen like bananas sometimes that were there too long that they probably should have took off the shelf, but technically some people buy those and they make like banana bread the same day.
I always check the date, when I buy something. Obviously, you always want to get like the freshest loaf of bread, whatever it is.
Sure.
Man, I can't tell you how many, and Michaela will be with me too. And it's just like, we don't know how it happens. Again, it's just one of those reminders that feels like we're living in a damn simulation. But I'll find stuff all the time that's expired. Like, why? How? Are we not rotating product, guys? Like this, that's grocery store 101. Anyone who's worked at a grocery store, you stock the shelves, you got to rotate the product. You should always be able to go to the back of the product and find the newest stuff back there. But when you find expired stuff all the time, it's like, what is going on here? And then, I'll bring it up to them at the grocery store. I'll literally bring the product, like, hey, I found this. Oh, thanks. That's it. It's like, does this happen all the time?
I have no idea. Joey Pitt says, what are the odds the end of the direct with end pre-orders are live in the US right now? 0. There's no way. There's no way.
I don't see it happening.
That would, yikes. You delay pre-orders and then you drop it right after the direct. That would, no.
Yeah, I mean it's 5:48 here in Arizona. People are not up. People don't get up at 6. People don't get up this early. I do every day, but most people do not. So yeah, I can't see it being this early. But again, I would love to at least get a date for pre-orders. If not at the end of the direct, a date. Maybe Nintendo tweets it out later today with some more information. I wouldn't be surprised if Nintendo follows up the direct with some more information, via Twitter, right?
Yeah. So it looks like because he brought it back. Ludo the Great brought up those expiration dates again. Basically, infant formula seems to be the only required one. This is right off of the official government website. That's it. Not even the infant baby food, just the formula has to have an expiration date. Interesting. So that's fine. I mean, obviously, it's weird that like it has to be regulated by everyone else, but I I also think that's probably because if you think about food, how it's packaged can affect how long it lasts. How it's stored can affect how long it lasts, and it's like, how do you legally mandate like expiration dates for food products that might be in different conditions? Um, so it could just be the difficulty in mandating that, but formula is a little different um, because they got to find a way to standardize that because babies. That's what it is. You don't want babies having bad formula. Because it's hard to tell, to be honest, as someone who's had 3 kids and all of them had formula at some point. Like, it is hard to tell, like, when the formula there was one formula that was expired for, like, 2 months, and you go to do it, and it looks exactly like the new formula. Like, "Oh, what's wrong with this?" Well, you look up the problems, and you're like, "Oh, it's something that we're not gonna notice, but it's gonna put, like, bacteria and shit in their bellies." They don't, so it's like, "Oh, well, okay." There's, like, a reason the formula is only good for so long, and they have to mandate that. They're trying to protect the baby from, parents not realizing the formula is bad. So, um, you had purchased pickles a few years ago. Expiration was good, but when I opened and tasted them, they tasted straight up like soil. I had to return them. I made customer service smell. That happens. Um, Gaming bottled water has an expiration. Well, look, everything has expiration dates, guys. Like, but they're not. What I'm saying is, in the United States, they're not legally mandated. It's up to the individual manufacturers. That's basically what people are saying with the food stuff. I thought Best Buy and everyone else only charge when the order goes through for shipping. Usually that's the case. GameStop, I know if you pre-order in person, you can obviously just pay it all off if you want. Um, Best Buy, I think Jake Randall mentioned they do a check. So what they'll do is they'll check your bank to see if you have the money, and then they'll put a hold on it, and then they'll release it by the end of the day. But you actually have to physically have the money. It's not like Amazon where, you can not have the money and just drop the pre-order. Best Buy, like, you literally, the money better be in the bank or your pre-order is not going to go through. But they're not actually going to take the money out, not until they ship it. But they will put a hold just to make sure, like, they just want to make sure the pre-orders are going to people who can afford it, so that they don't get a bunch of canceled pre-orders later. So that's, yeah, it's just a hold check and then they let it go. Then you're good. Then you're good, and they won't charge till it ships. Obviously, make sure you have the money when it ships. But the bottom line is, if you have the pre-order and you don't have the money when they want to ship it, you'll get an email, you'll get a notification, a text saying, "Hey, your item, we're trying to ship it, but your card didn't go through." They're not going to cancel your pre-order right away. They're going to give you that opportunity to update your payment info.
Bears fan Goomba.
Oh my god!
There's my mustache wax right there. You see who that is?
Is that who I think it is?
I don't know. It's Samson. Right there. That's the mustache wax. It's called Cedars of Lebanon.
What the hell?
Well, yeah, he asked serious question. You use wax for the stash. Absolutely. If I didn't, eating would be a absolute pain. Drinking coffee would just be like just dripping from our mustache. Like if I didn't use mustache wax and say like I'm wearing a white shirt and I drink coffee, shirt's ruined. Shirt's ruined instantly.
Oh. Dental Let's Way says Best Buy always charges me right away. No, it doesn't come back to my account. That's interesting. That's not been my experience, but could have to do with your payment methods. Could have to do with maybe how you selected your order. I have no idea. Obviously, I don't work at Best Buy. If you pre-order at Best Buy and you pay in full, can they still cancel your pre-order? It don't matter if you pay in full. It's all about the number of units. If they took too many pre-orders, yeah, they can cancel. They'll just refund you. Yeah, there's no guaranteed way. Like, if a retailer takes more pre-orders than units they get, they just factually have to cancel some. And it would be nice if instead of canceling, they would give you an option. Be like, hey, unfortunately, we took too many pre-orders and yours was selected to be canceled at random. However, if you'd like to hold on to that pre-order, we can try to get you in the next wave of consoles that come in after launch. And that would be a nice way to be like, okay, well, maybe I don't have a day one, but maybe I have it by the end of the week, the end of the following week, right? Like, because there's nothing more disappointing than being like, oh, not only am I not going to get it day one, now I might be struggling to get it at all for a little bit. It would be nice if they would offer that as an option if you'd like to keep your pre-order, but know that you're not going to get a day one system. But when it comes to pre-order consoles in person at GameStop, if you're going to put some money down, isn't it you have to put $50 down instead of $5? Yeah, it's usually $50 for consoles at GameStop, minimum down. GameStop, what's cool about that, the best thing about GameStop, and I say this as someone who I've been a broke bitch many times in my life. You put that 50 down, every paycheck you can pay a little more off instead of having to have it all at once. Almost like a payment plan sort of thing. It's nice. It's nice. It's one of the things I've always liked about GameStop. They're the only place that's like that. The only place that's like that, where it's not like you're using a Klarna or some other service. Like literally, no, there's no interest, no nothing. You just put 50 down and you just make payments on it up until the only time it's got to be paid off is when you go to pick it up. Yeah, it's like layaway. It's kind of like a layaway. Yeah, a layaway, but for an item that's not out yet. And you want to get it paid off by X date. So you have X amount of time to kind of get the budget together. I used to do that a lot when I couldn't literally afford a system up front. I actually did that with the Xbox Series X. I never had like a spare $500 in my bank because I'm supporting 3 kids. And you can say, oh, set money aside here, set money aside there. But every time I do that, I end up needing that money for something at some point, right? So instead, every paycheck I got, I'd run in and I put $20 down. Just say, nope, it's already down. I got $20 down. I'm not going to worry about that 20. I'm going to pretend I don't have it. I will figure out another way if I need that 20 later. So I would just do that every single paycheck. All right, I'm going to bring up the official stream here so we don't miss anything. Because I don't know if Nintendo's got a countdown timer. I don't know. So we're gonna bring that stream up because we're a couple minutes away. So here we go. And I will turn off our nameplate so you guys see the full thing there with no issues. I'll try to turn off the nameplates. Let me turn it off. Oh my God. Don't do this to me. There it is. Nameplate off. All right. That way you guys see the clean stream for you. Nice and big. Oh, I'm excited. We're a couple minutes away, man. Oh, man. Like I just try to remind myself, like, man, this could be it for Mario Kart for another decade.
I know. I keep thinking about it. I thought about it again this morning when I was like listening to the Mario Kart music on the Nintendo app. I'm just like, I can't swallow that pill. It's like hard to. That the last new Mario Kart came out in my 20s, and now the new Mario Kart will come out when I'm 40, because I turned 40 on May 7th, so soon. And it comes out, June 5th. It's just like wild to think about.
Sketch asked me how many Switch shoes am I pre-ordering. So personally, I'm getting 3 pre-orders in. Eric's getting 1, but I'm paying off Eric's pre-order. But he said he'll fight for his pre-order on his own, and then I'll just pay it off. Or like he might pay for it, then I'll pay him back. The 3 that I'm fighting for is the 1 for myself and 2 that we're giving away. That's right. I said 2. We're only giving away 1 with that link I've been putting, but we're going to do a live giveaway as well. So I'm fighting for 3. Now I can't guarantee that I'm going to get all 3 at launch. I don't know. But the goal is to get 3 pre-orders in, get in extra waves. Maybe I get a Nintendo Store order and a Best Buy and a GameStop. We'll see what happens. I'm going to be fighting for pre-orders. Because I can tell you right now, I don't have the extra money to technically pre-order all 3 right away. But I'll be fine. Well, I shouldn't say that. You know what? I don't know when pre-orders are. So I guess I can actually say that. If pre-orders aren't until like April 30th, I'm fine. then yeah, I can get all 3. Because the rest of the budget for all my pre-orders comes out of my next paycheck. So, but hey, here it is.
Here we go.
Drivers, start your engines. Welcome to the Mario Kart World game, available exclusively on the Nintendo Switch 2 system. What kind of races await you? In Mario Kart World, you'll aim for first place in each Grand Prix. But why stop there? Across cities, plains, a desert, and even the ocean, you can drive virtually everywhere in this fully interconnected world. Races are held on courses scattered throughout various regions that span this world, and you can freely drive between them. There's a lot in store, and we're only at the starting line. Let's introduce some of the courses that are waiting for you. Here we go! Courses are found throughout the world, inspired by their surrounding region. Let's take a look at some of the new courses to explore.
Yeah, I was thinking
Ride
the
the
same
ridges
thing.
and roads on Mario Brothers Circuit. And cruise the curves around the canyon. You can't miss it. See the sights and structures of Crown City. You can even soar in style down Main Street. Drift along the rapid waterways of Salty Speedway and make a splash around the city's canals. Stay cool in the snowy trails of Starview Peak. Just don't slip off while soaking up the scenery. Have a spirited showing at the ghostly movie theater Boo Cinema.
This one's so cool.
It's a whole new kind of drive-in theater. And in addition to lots of new courses, there's Toad's Factory, Peach Beach, Wario Shipyard,
That one's
and
cool,
more. Nostalgic courses from past titles are also here, but now they're reimagined and spread throughout the world, where races can happen during the day or at night.
Here we go.
Race as familiar characters like Mario, Luigi, Peach, Bowser, and Yoshi. Plus, new drivers like Goomba, Spike, and, that's right, Cow.
We all know about the cow.
Even more new racers are waiting and ready to roll.
Oh my god, there's crap.
Select your character. Choose your vehicle. Then you're off to the races. Characters and vehicles each have different stats.
There we go.
So make sure to find the combo that best suits
There you
you.
go. Character and vehicle stat. That's how they do it. All right.
There are two main styles of race revving up in this world: Grand Prix and Knockout Tour. In both modes, up to 24 drivers can participate, the most in series history. Your rivals aren't the only hazards you'll need to avoid on the road. Look out for cars that shoot bullet bills, attacks from Hammer Brothers, and other obstacles along the way. Try to steer clear.
We're kind of
And now, get ready for Grand Prix with Mushroom Cup, Flower Cup, Star Cup, and more. Grand Prix races are held all around the game's world. You'll race through 4 different courses in each cup and aim for the top spot. In Mushroom Cup, you'll start off racing around Mario Brothers Circuit, while the second race will take you from Mario Brothers Circuit to Crown City. For the first time, You'll need to drive yourself to the next course in Grand Prix. So don't sleep at the wheel. And if you conquer all Grand Prix Cups, rumor has it that a certain colorful course will appear.
Rainbow Roads when you beat all of them. Okay.
Next up is a new mode, Knockout Tour.
Rainbow Roads on
From Golden Rally to Ice Rally and more. These extended races take you from one end of the world to the other. Get ready for a sprint. But you've got to place if you want to stay in the race. Speed towards checkpoints throughout the world. If you don't make the cut, you're out of the running. Buckle up. The competition gets more intense as you close in on the checkpoints. You've got to drive to survive in Knockout Tour. So keep your eyes on the prize and aim for first place. Items can drastically change the outcome of a race. Here are some new items that'll help you out. Coin shell. When you throw a coin shell, coins will appear. Now's your chance to grab them. Just don't let your rivals cash in first. Ice flower. With the ice flower, you can freeze out rivals and send them spinning. Hammer. Aim the hammer in an arc and nailed it.
That one's
Hammers
really cool.
also stay on the course for a short time and can be used to block off rivals. Mega Mushroom. With the Mega Mushroom, go big so your rivals will go home. Feather. Use the feather to jump up and avoid attacks. You may even discover some unexpected routes. Comic. With Comic's magic, your rivals will transform.
Oh, that's cool.
What other mysterious effects will happen? You'll have to see for yourself.
I didn't see that in the
The
demo.
lower your placement, the more likely you are to find items that'll turn the tables. So when you get items, go for it.
Dude, I came back on
And if you're new to the Mario Kart series, there are added support features to help you along the way.
driving.
These include smart steering, which helps you stay on the course. Tilt controls, where you can hold a Joy-Con 2 controller horizontal and use motion controls to steer. And if you have the Joy-Con 2 wheel, you can feel like you're really driving. Ooh, how about a quick break? A snack sounds good right about now. Hey,
we
look,
go.
it's a drive-thru. Here at Yoshi's, you can grab an order to go. Dash food. Take a bite and you can unlock outfits inspired by your meal.
All right.
Eat some sushi and whoa, nice threads. Once unlocked, these outfits can be selected from the character selection screen.
There we go.
Who knows what dishes or outfits you'll find? Make a pit stop and check out these drive-thrus all around the world. That was a nice detour. Now let's get back to the action. Let's introduce some new tricks that'll help you ace each race. Charge jump. You can now use a charge jump by holding the drift button while driving straight ahead. Charge and release to jump. Use this to leap over obstacles. Grind along power lines.
That's cool.
And dodge attacks from your rivals. And if you jump toward a wall, you can wall ride for a short period of time.
It's like a platformer racer now.
Chain some tricks together, and you may even reach places like this. Ah, so close. Almost there. Whenever this happens, be kind and rewind.
What?
This will return your vehicle to its original position.
What?
Nice, made it. This can come in handy when mapping out how to best approach a course. Keep in mind, though, your rivals will still move normally when you rewind, so don't lose your lead.
Wait, you can do this in multiplayer?
Want to take a spin in even more races? In time trials, it's you against the clock. Here you can race without any other competitors. And if you go online, you can download and compete against ghost data from racers around the world.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's cool. How to beat everyone's best times in real time.
Yeah.
Customize the rules of the road in Versus Race.
Sure. Versus race. Yeah.
You can use the classic rule set of running 3 laps within the same course. Or
Every 3 laps,
you can
Dylan.
choose to drive the distance from one course to another.
Cool.
You can even take the road less traveled and choose routes that aren't in Grand Prix or Knockout Tour. Up to 24 drivers can now compete in 2, 3, or even 4 teams.
Oh, baby.
Group up and get ready to put the pedal to the metal.
That's awesome.
Oh,
Next up, Battle Mode. Pop off locally or online in Balloon Battle. Use items to burst your rivals' balloons. Pop them all and your rivals out. And Coin Runners, where you can go for the gold by collecting the most coins.
Oh,
Race or battle, enjoy whatever drives you. When you're not racing, you can enjoy free roam and go wherever your heart takes you. No roads? No problem. Ride the rivers. See the seas. Drive the desert. Or jump off from way up here. You
Love
can
the
go
Bob on
wherever you like,
Battlefield music.
even to the edges of the world. Hey, there's a P-switch over there.
Oh, here it is.
Hit hundreds of P-switches you find across the world to start missions.
Oh, it's
By completing them, you can hone your driving ability outside of races.
oh yeah. Mission.
There are also hidden coins,
What do they do though?
hidden panels, and more. So take the scenic route and explore.
Okay. They put some stuff in that free roam.
Also, during free roam, you can take photos whenever you like.
Sure.
Strike a pose. Look at the camera. Choose a frame to decorate and nice. That one's a winner.
All right, baby, please. Yeah.
If one person has Mario Kart World, up to 4 players can race in split screen on the same system.
You can have around, love it.
The game also supports local wireless play. Up to 8 players, with up to 2 players on each system, can race together this way.
That's awesome.
Oh, that's great. One copy.
And up to 24 players from around the world can join a race or battle in online play.
Oh, this is fun. Balloon battle. Great.
This may look like free roam, but this is where you'll wait while your friends join you. Looks like someone's arrived. Yep, you can meet up with your crew anywhere in this world. By checking the map, you can quickly see where your friends are and travel to their location.
Ah, nice.
Oh, cool.
Oh, cool.
Like you can meet up.
Yeah.
Battle or race with custom rules.
Like a social
Or
hub.
just go for a ride together.
There we
Make
go.
this road trip your own. You can also take photos together along the way. if that's more your speed.
That's cool.
Okay. Oh,
With Game Chat, enjoy an expanded experience by talking online with friends. Use the built-in microphone to voice chat while driving together.
Yeah, let's go.
Let's go.
Let's go.
Check this out. Nice. Are you kidding me?
Or take a back seat and watch each other's game screens.
That's awesome.
wrecking
If
everything.
you have a Nintendo Switch 2 camera,
I love that you can destroy parts of the park.
you can enjoy seeing your friends' reactions while playing together. Who's close by? Wait, who just passed me? You'll be able to tell
Oh,
in an
geez.
instant.
That's
Hey,
cool.
Michelle and
neat.
Bullseye.
That would be fun.
Yeah.
And when playing together in person on the same system, a single camera can detect up to
All
four
four.
people's faces.
Yeah.
Enjoy the view and get ready to face off with your friends.
No one wants to lose it. No one wants to play.
A transcontinental race around the world is just around the corner in Mario Kart World, available exclusively on Nintendo Switch 2. A hardware bundle that includes a digital version of Mario Kart World will also be available.
And that's it. Okay. Okay. One, that was sick. Yeah, no, there's no campaign or story mode, but they are all in on all the modes. Dude, the community aspect.
Huge.
Holy shit. I did not expect us to like just literally just see what our friends are doing and just you're there. You're with them. Holy shit. That was awesome. The chat doesn't look like they're feeling it. Looking at the chat, they seem upset. Oh,
I'm
man.
hyped. Missions. Dude, this is a racing platformer now with rewind mechanics. Like Captain Bacon 85 said in my chat, which so quick to say it as well, is that when a blue shell comes, hit that rewind. I'm like, oh shit. Yeah, that's a good, like, logically,
Yeah, the blue shell also like knocked you off the course. Rewind that shit.
yeah, logically that makes a lot of sense, right?
Man. Will there be perhaps be a campaign mode in future deal? I doubt it. They clearly aren't emphasizing that version of single player. They took the free roam, and put obviously those missions in. The coins, we're not quite sure what the coins do yet. They didn't really tell us, just that you can collect them. So I'm interested if those coins have anything. Like they talked about hitting the question bricks as well, but then they didn't really show what happens when you do it. So I'm
That's
very
cool though.
yeah, like it's cool not to tell me. Let me discover that. Figure it out. They said
Yeah.
hundreds of those blue coin missions. Hundreds.
And yeah, it's like, so what does it do? Again, like we know that you can get stickers, but they didn't talk about it. So you think like completing a mission, maybe?
Oh, yeah, maybe that's how you get them.
Like what if you do this? What if so each course has a region, right? Like each course I could see, like think about Mario Odyssey and how you'd get stickers to put on, your ship.
Mm-hmm.
So what if you get like all the blue coins for like Peach Beach, right? You do all the missions at Peach Beach and then you get a sticker for Peach Beach. Like you just traveled there, like almost like if you go travel to another city and you go pick up a sticker there, right? Or like you go to a New York one, you got like a I love New York that you can slap on your cart. I could totally see them doing that. Man, my mind's going in a million directions because I want to know what those coins are for. Right? I'm still wondering. Like that rumor about the pre-order bonus where you get a coin.
Mm-hmm.
Like, does it have to? Is that the coin? Because why aren't they telling us what it is?
Yeah, I don't know. Chippy Hipster said $5. I'm a big fan of games like Forza Horizon and Burnout Paradise. I'm all for the missions and collectibles. Yeah, those are big in those games. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, they're definitely giving you like a lot of reason to go explore, to find things. I really like that. And some of it is also, as they said, like some of the stuff's going to be quite difficult to make you just get better at the game because you want to complete that mission, that obstacle. And they're doing it with the blue coins, which is totally fine. You guys got, I mean, look, Mario Kart's a game about driving. It's got to be something about driving for a mission. Interesting that there doesn't appear to be any sort of boss stuff, as far as we're aware. Unless, what if one of those blue coin missions involves having to run around getting coins that do things and attack a boss? Don't know. They seem to be leaving a lot to be discovered. I was trying to find a good summary of everything that was new in this direct, because there was quite a bit. They recapped a lot, and then they went into a shitload of new, like rapid fire.
So at the end of the direct, okay, when the announcer's talking, they said it's a transcontinental Mario Kart experience, and the first thing I thought is we're going to other places.
Wait, what? They said that?
I swear to God, they said. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't think people probably picked up on it, but they said it's
At the end?
continental experience. Yeah.
Okay, I'm bringing this back up. What?
Drive the distance from one course to another. You can even take the road less traveled and choose routes that aren't in Grand Prix or Knockout Tour. Up to 24 drivers can now compete.
Skip a little
And
bit ahead.
nice. If that's more your speed.
Probably skipping through their live version of this is maybe not the best way to do it.
You're probably at the good point though, right there. Once it plays, I think it's probably right around that. I do want to hear them say
And
it
get
again.
ready to face off with your friends. A transcontinental race around the world is just around the corner in
They did say it. A transcontinental race around the world. But we've only seen one continent. I don't know if I want to read too much.
I
into
just
that.
Googled it. Transcontinental meaning. It says crossing a continent
Okay. So that could just be this one.
or crossing to a new continent. I guess it's all on how we choose to interpret it.
Interesting. Interesting.
Transcontinental.
Yeah, the original meaning was just going across a continent.
Yeah. I haven't heard that term in a long time.
Yeah, it's not something that gets used very often.
It's not.
Yeah, people used it a lot in the railroad days to talk about going across the intercontinental. Is the word we're looking for there to be more than one continent.
Well, That's interesting. I could see them setting it up right now by saying transcontinental and having a future direct saying we're going intercontinental.
Yeah.
I know there's more. We know there's more. There was 96 tracks.
So what I gotta say is, let's go with the presumption there isn't more, right? Because we can only go off what's known, and what's known is what they've showed. And Rainbow Road's unlockable, which is cool. It's not just a standard part of the game. You have to unlock it by beating all the Grand Prix. That's cool. So if you just go off what is known now, because people say, oh, not worth $80. Some say it's worth $80. I feel like that, seeing everything there is, this is, the most modes we've had in a game ever, in a Mario Kart game. The most modes, looks like the biggest world. Not in terms of the number of tracks, of course. That's Mario Kart 8. We know that with all the DLC and everything. But Mario Kart 8 didn't originally have all those tracks. The original Mario Kart 8 had significantly less tracks. So I think, they put a lot in this. A lot in each mode. I mean, the balloon battle mode already looked way more fun than the one they had in Mario Kart 8 Deluxe. That's for sure.
Yeah.
It was way better than that. That looked exciting. Having the versus mode and other ways to like compete with people online to get like the best times. Have the ghost runners in. We've had stuff like that before, but it's just the online aspect is something Nintendo's obviously gone all in. The community aspect is something they're all in on. Pretty much at any time, go to the map and just like, hey, your friends are over here. Why don't you go over there and join them and play with them and race with them and set up games? Obviously, game chat and all that. That's whatever. I mean, it's voice chat. I mean, that's what you expect. I do like the idea of the faces on the race map and chasing people down. Like that's kind of cool because sometimes you have multiple people being the same character in a race, so you don't know who's who. And you're just trying to glance at a username flying by you, and it's like, I couldn't really see that very well. We're going a million miles an hour. So I do find that to be interesting. I don't think there's anything they could have shown that would have made people say it, like outside of people that already thought the game was worth $80. I'm not sure there's anything they could have shown that would have made people feel like, even if they had a single player campaign. Okay. What did you guys think that campaign was going to be like? It's pretty much like the missions and stuff out in the overworld. That's basically what I was expecting a single player campaign to be. This is a racing game. It's Mario Kart. This isn't, I guess the only thing I could say if there was a single player campaign is they could have made it like a tournament style campaign where you're working your way up artificial rankings, like an RPG. But then you can already play all the courses outside of that. So like it wouldn't really be that special. So I kind of feel like all the missions and all the stuff they added in, it's kind of like a single player thing. They gave you a bunch of stuff to go do on your own.
Yeah.
Like, go be by yourself in the world, go explore and find things to do. There's stuff to do. There's missions and there's collectibles. There's the question blocks, which I still don't really exactly know what those do when you hit them. They said something about unlocking new areas that you can't get to normally. Okay.
Well, it was question blocks. It was the P switches.
Yep.
From Super Mario World. Another world reference right there as well. Was there a third? It was
The coin.
The coin.
Yeah.
There's a lot going on, guys. There's a lot that we don't know yet, even still after this direct. Because again, like, what are these coins? What are the blue coins for? It seems like the blue coins complete the mission. But what are those gold coins for? What are those big gold coins for? How are we spending those? Right?
Yeah. We had this $5 super chat come in. Secret Rainbow Road could just be the course, but maybe also a Rainbow Road free roam that leads to new secret areas. Sure, that's always a possibility. It's hard to know, obviously, because they're clearly like, now you find this out when you play the game. We don't want to reveal everything. Just like they didn't reveal all the new characters or the entire character lineup.
And I'm glad. I'm glad because I love that sense of discovery, man.
a member chat come in saying, do you think there'll be a custom course Grand Prix? Well, they kind of talked about in some of the multiplayer modes being able to like have a different 4-course setup where you can like select courses from different Grand Prix. So they kind of feel like they have something like that in there. It's just in a specific mode. So there's that. And they confirmed that yes, you could set up a mode with just 3 laps. They confirmed that. They didn't really show it. They just said you could do it. I mean, I guess who wants to sit there and just watch them race around a track 3 times? I mean, like that's the gameplay. Then I'm just gonna sit there and show that. But yeah, I don't think there's anything they could have done to make people who I don't think this direct took anyone who thought $80 is too much. I don't think this convinced them. And the only thing I see people saying is, well, if they would have included DLC, I'm going to tell you right now. I am happy they didn't show DLC. And I'll explain why. I'm tired of day 1 DLC. I want to know they put everything they had into this game. And then DLC is something to worry about down the road. This trend in the industry of pre-announcing DLC before a game's even come out is ridiculous. It's just ridiculous. What that means is, hey, we had all these ideas we didn't put in the game so we could sell it to you later. I think there's something to say that one way they could approach DLC is not show anything, but just be like, there will be DLC, just mentioning that we are planning for DLC to exist at some point in the future. And that, that's included with the price. Maybe that would have made people happy, but then they're not showing you what that is because they haven't made it yet. So then if they haven't made it yet, because obviously you don't want them to have made it already and then it's not in the game, because that means they cut content from the game to sell it to you. So you don't want that. You don't want it to be a Splatoon situation where the game's kind of incomplete at launch and they piecemeal free stuff to you over time, because people will be mad about that because you'll just feel like you have an incomplete experience at launch. Splatoon gets away with it because of the way that game runs. You want things kind of handed out slowly over time because they kind of do seasons. They do the Splatfest and all of that is just part of the game. So you want that content spread out. But Mario Kart, you usually don't want content spread out. You just want content to be unlocked, to be discovered, characters to be unlocked. They didn't tell us how we unlock characters. That wasn't explained at all. I doubt they're just all there right away. I bet you have to unlock them. And I don't know how. They didn't tell us. So I don't think there's anything they could have did to make people feel justified. Like even if you talk about, the DLC is included for free. Well, they wouldn't have anything to show for the DLC right now. If they put everything they could into this game, they wouldn't have anything to show other than saying, sure, we plan to make DLC. We just haven't made it yet, but it'll be included with the price. That doesn't do anything because you don't know what you're paying for then.
Yeah. No, you make a lot of great points that I agree.
Nothing they could have done, basically, is what I'm saying. If you don't think it was worth $80 after the direct on the second, you weren't going to think it was going to be worth $80 after this. There's nothing they could have shown. And you can come up with each individual little thing that you maybe, well, if they had a single player campaign, I would have been, if they had a story mode, it would have been, okay, that's for you individually. This whole drop the price $80 thing is not about you individually. It's about the masses. And most of the masses probably think it's fine. But the ones that don't, they were always going to keep saying drop the price no matter what was shown. So, again, it is what it is. Like, when I see a bunch of people in the chat, saying L takes, and dude, say what you want, man. I think it's worth $80. I thought it was worth $80 on the second because I'm going to be putting so much time into this game. I just explained how I spent $145 on Mario Kart 8. I spent more on that game than currently I'm going to be spending on this game. Now, yeah, there's a lot more tracks. Absolutely. And I'm sure we'll be getting paid DLC in the future with more. I mean, there's no way I can firmly believe it. I know DLC is not announced, but there's no way they're launching this day one of the platform and there won't be new content DLC later.
No, this is an evergreen title.
Yeah.
Like, this is why it's a launch title. You release it on launch day, and then you literally have possibly an 8-year runway to work with. This is going to have so much additional content throughout the lifespan. We're not gonna get 2 Mario Karts in a console generation. That's never happened. There's no point in doing it. This is a game that's going to be supported from beginning to end. It'll be with you for the entire life cycle. This is why it's a pack-in title.
Yeah, and I just put a poll up too, just to kind of see how the audience is feeling. You know, we got 900 live. It's not a small audience we're having right now for this discussion. You know, we have more people watching us now than during the direct because they probably don't watch it in 4K and everything. And pop over for our thoughts after. So we're seeing an interesting split. It's right now it's 69. Nice. Yes, and 30 no, but we're seeing you know, right around a 2/3 split towards yes and no. So I also think that gives you kind of a good idea of like, because obviously we're just one channel and we're heavily Nintendo, but obviously this is about a Nintendo system and a Nintendo game. I think this kind of gives you the general sentiment. Like a majority of people think it's fine and it's worth the price, but the contingency that doesn't is much larger than just like, you know, a 10% of the audience that is mad about the price. No, it's 30%. That's why the voice is so loud. That's why the drop the price is so prevalent. That's why the conversation keeps happening, because 30% is not a small percentage of people that are unhappy with the price. We had people here complaining more for us. I mean, it doesn't create more for us per se, I guess, unless the physical copy is really hard to get, which it might be at launch, and you want a physical. I guess a higher chance of getting it since less people want to buy it. Obviously, you know, guys, I'm not putting this in context of you can get the bundle and get it for 50. The bundle's temporary, so I don't want to put that in context, because I think if there's anybody who said no, it's not worth 80, I doubt they would say no, it's not worth 50. So, like, you know, if they really still want to play it, they could get it for 50 and get the bundle. But Stephen Vaughn said there's a person in chat who wanted a Diddy Kong story in the game. Now they don't think it's worth $80 at all. I'm super excited. Okay, look, you can want a Diddy Kong story, but that was probably never going to happen in a Mario Kart game. I like Diddy Kong a lot, though. It would have been cool to see him in the direct. Be nice if he's an unlockable character later, because there's got to be more to unlock. So Mario Kart's always had unlockables. There's got to be more to unlock than Rainbow Road. That's the only one they directly said out loud was Rainbow Road. But I guarantee you a lot of the stuff that we're seeing is unlockables. And maybe they just assume the audience knows because every Mario Kart, all this stuff's been like unlockables. Chippy Hipster comes in. Worth it for me at $80, but because I'm a salty bitch, I say it would have been more worth it at 60 or 70. Well, yeah, no one's going to argue a cheaper price is more value. Yeah. Duh. Like, you know, yeah, a cheaper price. I'm going to tell you, like, the funny thing is, like, when I say it's worth $80 for me, what I'm not saying is that I wouldn't want it to be cheaper. Who wouldn't want it to be cheaper? We all want gaming to be cheaper.
Tall Show said that Nintendo dropped the what do you call it? I drawn a blank. The press release for Mario Kart. There might be more information, of course, in there.
Oftentimes there isn't, but I will double check. Let's see here. Someone's got to have the press release. Mario Kart World press release. It's obviously posted somewhere. Okay, here it is. I got it on Business Wire. This is usually the place that has this stuff. Let me move it over to my other screen here. I'll share it with everyone. Don't know if there's anything new in it, but sometimes there is. Sometimes they put things even like pre-order date for the game in these kind of press releases. So I haven't read it yet, so we will. I get it for it. Yeah, Business Wire is usually where the official press release drops, besides the emails and all that. So new details. So this will have all the new stuff they announced today as well. Be in here. So roll out with Mario friends across the interconnected world. Feature up to 24 drivers, Grand Prix, chaotic knockout, battle mode, free roam, and more. Probably nothing new in the images, just images from the direct. So let's see here. Full game download code. If you buy it, yeah, okay. There's your confirmation, by the way, guys. Of it's a download code with the bundle, which is what we all expected. Oh, I know some people talked about how there's some areas that have a physical. What I want to note about the physical is that none of those areas have an eShop. So digital is not even an option in those countries. So that's why the bundle includes a physical. Why there's no eShop there, I don't know. I'm sure that's a political, logistical nightmare or something.
Yep.
Because Nintendo makes more money off digital, so like per copy sold. So they would definitely want an eShop there. But all right. So series first, interconnected world, races out throughout the world's various regions, feature dynamic weather conditions. Yeah, they didn't show out the weather too much. And they only mentioned day-night cycle. I'm curious how much the weather affects things. See here, what's the point to discover? Solo or with friends, or locally or online. Oh yeah, dude. Did people forget the fact that you can have 8-player essentially download play?
Yeah, that's huge.
I mean, yeah, it's 2 per system, so it's still only going to 4 systems, but each system can do split screen. That is sick. I did not expect them to do download play split screen.
Neither did I.
That's LAN parties, baby. Nintendo's supporting LAN parties right now.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Like, that's sick. And just think, guys, what if you can do that local play and you all can play online at the same time? So then you can have 3 groups of 8 playing LAN party online together. Oh, that'd be sick.
Do you think we're going to be able to create our own groups of friends to race together, like our own like a lobby, so to speak?
That would be interesting. I would like to, because
I would
remember
like to as well.
they're doing up to 4 teams. It would be really cool if you could just get a group of people and build your team to go against other people's teams.
Yeah, I was talking to N64 Josh about that because we were thinking about the idea of how much fun that would be. Like all of us content creator friends, and then of course our subscribers. That would be really fun, right? To all race together. Like, that'd be a blast, and like stream that. That would be a very good time, right?
Mm-hmm. So, Interconnected World Grand Prix, which consists of 4 different races to win each cup, including the Mushroom Cup, Flower Cup, Star Cup, and more, held across the game's world. First time in the series, you drive between courses. You start off racing the Mario Bros. Circuit. In the second race, you'll have you covering the distance from Mario Bros. Circuit to Crown City, conquer every Grand Prix Cup, and you might just unlock a certain colorful course. So they're re-emphasizing the unlockable Rainbow Road. Knockout Tour, we obviously know what that is. Vehicles that shoot bullet bills, hammer bro attacks, and other obstacles will find their way into this mode as well. So it sounds like that's only in the Knockout Tour. So vehicles that shoot bullet bills, hammer bro attacks, and obstacles find their way into this mode as well. Well, actually, they say as well. So maybe it's in Grand Prix and they're just like, hey, just so you know, that Grand Prix stuff is also in knockout mode as well. Okay, free roam, plenty to discover. So when you're not aiming for first place, take a scenic road, explore panoramic vistas, go way off road, see the seas, find secrets like hidden coins or P switches, take on hundreds of missions. So there you go, hundreds of missions. There's gonna be a lot of missions. Dude, what if there's 1,000?
It says over 100 missions.
It says hundreds.
Hundreds?
Yes.
Oh my god.
Like,
See, this is why I love press releases. This is why we all do, because you get a little bit more information just knowing that there's hundreds of missions. And then what happens again, though? What happens down the road, right? When we have DLC, that DLC is going to have new missions, new unlockables. Has to.
Help improve your driving skills outside of races. You can also take in-game photos with free roam and take a road trip, strike a pose. Battle mode is back and more hectic than ever. Secure goal by collecting the most coins in coin runners or burst your rivals' balloons. Yep, those are the 2 different types of battle modes. New techniques, leap over obstacles with the charge jump move. Use the jump onto rails. You can grind, dodge attacks from your rivals, and even you can dodge attacks with that. That's cool. And even jump towards a wall ride for a short time. You You can also chain together wall rides to uncover hidden routes. Miss your mark during free roam or single player mode, just use rewind. So okay, it's a single player mode. Rewind's a single player mode feature, guys. So it's not online. So if you're doing the Grand Prix, you can use it, but you can't use it against people online, which it makes sense. It makes sense. I was excited about the prospect of it being with online multiplayer, but it'd also be wild. Everyone just rewinding all the time. Every mistake they make.
Yeah, I agree, and I'm happy about that. To be honest with you, that would I don't know how they do that in multiplayer. This is good.
Gold coins are the new Korok seeds. You also got to wonder, like, if you beat all the missions, do you get something? If you get all the coins, do you get something?
That's what I'm saying. Like, what are we turning in this currency for that we're collecting, right? Like, okay, I understand the blue coins. It seems like you have to collect all the blue coins probably to complete the mission. But then what are we doing with those gold coins that they're not that they're being extremely cryptic about for a reason, obviously.
Mm-hmm.
That's exciting, right?
Yeah.
That's something we don't know. And it seems like it's a big deal.
Yeah. So nothing new here yet as I'm reading through some of the stuff. New items. They went over the items. The Kamek one to me is sick. Calling Kamek's magic to transform your rivals into something surprising and cause unexpected chaos.
Yeah, I didn't see Kamek in the demo. I didn't. So that's really cool.
And they always do the thing, hey, the lower position, the better items you get. I mean, that's how it's always been. Dash through and roll out, make a pit stop at Yoshi's for a local delightful snack. We know that these fast food bags are also in other maps. They give you a speed boost, so everyone will give you a speed boost. So it's worth getting it just for a speed boost, guys. If you don't care about the costume change, you do get a speed boost. So it's like a mushroom. But it'll sometimes unlock outfits. That's sometimes interesting. So it won't unlock outfits every time.
That's cool. So there's a randomness. There's a rarity drop to it. It sounds like,
Yeah.
right? Just like if you're playing like a Metroidvania, you have to defeat. It would be like this enemy has a 0.3% chance of dropping this ultra rare item, right? It's similar.
Someone said, "Did you see the 300cc?" I didn't see 300cc. What? Like, are you just trolling me right now? Tommy G, some are saying 4-player split screen will be 4K 30. I don't see any official news about that. I doubt it. 60 FPS is what's needed for racers.
I could never see Mario Kart being 30 FPS.
Yeah, there's just even having this as an option. I just don't.
They would downgrade the resolution before they mess with the frames.
Yep. Auto accelerate, tilt controls. Yep, all the different controls. Features parental controls, additional games, accessories. Okay. Online membership sold separately. I'm just seeing if they hid any language in here that's like, oh hey, look, there's a date. I love all this. Nintendo has sold 5.8 billion video games. Okay. Yeah, there's nothing really in there. And don't worry, like, I'm not leaking emails here. This is a public website. That's a guy who works at Golan. All right. Golan Harris is their PR company. Okay. So nothing too crazy in there besides the fact that we get hundreds of those missions. That was kind of the new information in the press release. That we weren't sure, because I remember them saying, like 100. Maybe they said it in the direct, but that just reclarifies. Hundreds is a lot. It means it's at least 200, probably more.
We were asked in the chat if we think Nintendo would do something like dropping weekly missions. Gran Turismo does that on PS5. They update with new missions, and it's really cool. It feels like real progression towards something.
Yeah.
I'd like to see it.
People want the gold coins to turn into eShop credit. I'm going to tell you right now, that's probably not happening.
That's why they got rid of the gold coins, is because you collect it now. Mario Kart.
Taker 610 says, "Do we need to unlock Link as a character?" Well, the big thing is they didn't show anything but Mario. Even like some of the, if you go to the character select screen, I'll see if there's going to be people that have images of this up already, took screenshots, because there was other new characters we hadn't seen. I remember there being a crab on that screen. I'm like, oh shit. So I bet you someone's got all the screen grabs and is doing all the analysis right now of everything. But I do feel like they didn't show any anything to do with characters from other video games. I think if any of that does happen, that's DLC in the future. And to be fair, it was originally DLC for Mario Kart 8 too. They didn't have that stuff in the original Mario Kart 8. People just feel like they did because they didn't play Mario Kart 8 till they got to Switch, but that's because it included the DLC. Which again is also another reason that people get mad that the DLC is not included with Breath of the Wild Switch 2 edition. But you know, you win some, you lose some. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything about like 300cc, so I think that was probably just a troll. I'm reading the ads in the chat now, guys. There are different coins. There was a silver coin by the windmill when they were showing the meetup features. Okay, so different types of coins. You thinking unlockable characters because the character selections have different tabs? Okay. Yeah, see, this is a lot of stuff like just go like it's hard to go back through the footage.
So silver coins, blue coins, and gold coins. And the gold coins are big. Considerably bigger. They all got to be used for something.
Man. I also like that, like see if I can oh, here we got Stephen Vaughn saying, I can see community challenges to unlock new skins. Absolutely. As a possibility. It's so crazy because I never bothered to look at this. Like literally this doesn't exist in the world. It's just not even there. It's just appearing out of thin air. Probably after you completed all the Grand Prix. And the question is like, do you have to get first place in all the Grand Prix? Is this unlocked if you do like first place 50cc? Or do you have to get first place in all of them? Don't know. Interesting. Just trying to see if there is any other. I mean, there's a lot of interesting people that are dissecting the trailer are finding a lot of really interesting stuff they didn't talk about. That's just there, or didn't show. This is okay. So people are saying that the 30 FPS is officially from Nintendo. Hold on. So comment on this because they're saying the four player split screen was 30 FPS.
Nintendo is.
Yeah. Well, no, people are saying when they watch the footage, but that's not officially from Nintendo. That's just you looking at footage on a stream.
Yeah.
It's not the same thing. Like Nintendo has to officially confirm it. But someone joked around in the comment on that post on Reddit, and they're just like, "Hey, I like what I'm seeing. 4 players, 30 FPS each. That's 120 FPS, baby."
Yeah.
I mean, technically not wrong when you do the math.
No, technically not.
But they're saying because it looked like laggy or whatever, and it's like, well, yeah, who knows? Let's see. Special Cup, including Rainbow Road, has historically always been needed to be unlocked. Yeah, so it's probably a whole new cup that has Rainbow Road, I would assume. Anything about game share streaming the screen on this? Yes. Actually, Hercules Sanchez? Yes. Heracles or whatever? Yeah, dude. They announced that you can stream it up to 4 different Switch devices, whether it's Switch 2 or Switch 1, off one cartridge. And you can do a split screen on each one for 1 extra player. So a total of 8 people can play off of 1 cartridge, technically. Across 4 devices. So yeah, this game does support game share, which is pretty cool. That also, yeah, I know some of you guys don't want to talk about it. That can add extra value to the game because people who don't have it can play it on their own Switch with you.
It's a big deal. It is.
Let me see here. See here. So seems like we have the same brain. Yeah. So one thing I'm actually curious about, they didn't show. So the online play, right? You have your race, you have your knockout tour, your battle, and then playing with friends. There doesn't seem to be a tournament mode. Also, are the rankings? They didn't talk about if there's any online rankings. We had rankings in Mario Kart 8. So if you're curious, if there is rankings.
I'm curious too, because I'd like to see that. And we know they offloaded time trials to, they said an app, right? Is it the Nintendo app or is it a Mario Kart app?
I have no idea. Yeah. Disney Picks Chick CB says. I mean, just in general, there's a lot they like kind of glossed over and didn't really talk about.
There's a ton.
And it's either because they want us to discover it all, or maybe there's going to be part of the promotional campaign coming up beginning in May.
Whatever it is, it's by design. Nintendo doesn't do stuff by chance. We know this.
There are people mad about this direct, and like the longer the poll stays up, the more that is starting to now we're at 60-40 or 59, whatever was it 59-41 now. People say, "What the hell was that direct?" They literally did. I like it when people say it literally didn't show anything. They showed like 3 more modes, and they showed. Gosh, that's the thing. I wish I had like a giant summary, because like the press release has a lot of it, but not all of it. Like some of this is just recapping. But then they announced the battle mode and the 2 different types of battle modes. They announced the charge jump, which we didn't know was a thing. We had no charge jump was not previously known.
It's a platformer now.
Yeah. Charge jump was not a thing that we knew before this. That is a new move that involves using the same button you would use to drift, but in a straight line. And you can use that to dodge items too. Like that's a whole new move that we didn't know about.
But you can use it to hit rails too that are like high up and to go onto the wall. This is insane.
They announced a single player rewind feature. Never had that. It's never existed in Mario Kart before. Brand new. Which is it's good to have that in single player because like it'll give you multiple tries to like test out different maneuvers to try to see where you can get off of certain jumps and stuff. I like that. It's basically why it exists. It's to give you an ability to test and perfect without having to go all the way back around the course to get back to that jump. I like that. They announced obviously all this community stuff was huge. They announced so much community stuff and playing with friends stuff. The camera play stuff, of course, which again, that's with an accessory that's sold separately, or if you just have a webcam laying around. New characters. Goomba and Spike, were they in the demo that you played?
I did not see Spike. I am pretty certain I saw Goomba. I didn't see Spike though.
And there's other new characters. Like if you pause it, I know there's other new characters. I'm just trying to find if anyone took a screenshot online. I'm sure someone did, but I'm not seeing. Okay, so they're not coming up with anything on that Reddit. We'll get off of Reddit then. Someone's got screenshots out there. Oh, now there's the rumor is back that Metroid Prime 4 is in active development. Just throwing that out there. Don't know if there's any validity to it.
What is it?
It comes from Nash Weedle. He's the one who had everything about Metroid Dread correct. And he's saying Metroid Prime 5 is being developed concurrently with Metroid Prime 4 and is coming out in 2027.
We've heard that.
Yeah, that's not new now. We just have like more of a time frame of release if it's true.
You know, I know we talked about it a little bit with Metroid as far as like my experience playing it and how I had mentioned that after playing it or during playing it that I was like, this is why we haven't received Prime 2 and 3 yet, because mouse mode is the way to play. And those games are going to come back out with mouse mode. And then Michael J earlier in the chat mentioned that he was on Amazon and saw that Metroid Prime trilogy book releases June 24th, which we've talked about again.
Mm-hmm.
But like just putting that together, right? Like my experience, the fact that they haven't come out yet, I kind of lost sight of the Prime book. I'd posted about it months ago. But when you think about it, June. Prime 4 is not a launch title. That'd be a great time to get Prime 2 and 3 out at the June Direct.
Yeah, and it is interesting that the character select screen, yes, guys, it full confirmed. Obviously, the costumes are individual character slots. That also means the costumes do have an impact on your stats because they said character combined with Kart is how you make your stats. So that would mean the costumes actually also affect the stats.
See, that's what I was thinking. Remember we were talking about it before that there's got to be more to these costumes. And if they affect stats, oh my God. Could you imagine? Like there's so much strategy in this game. We were talking in chat too, just about like speed running. The people, obviously the time trial people, it's like, dude, trying to find the fastest ways to do every single track when you now have jumping, grinding, wall riding. It's gonna be wild if you really dig into the detail and the strategy. If you're competitive, this game is going to be insane.
Also, there's reports out there that Nintendo UK disabled the chat during the live stream. Don't run from it, Nintendo. Own your shit. I don't know if the report's true, by the way. I saw it on Insider Gaming, and we know how accurate they've been about Switch 2 lately.
Yeah.
Is there anyone in the chat who was watching the UK one that can confirm if the chat was disabled in the UK? It wasn't in the US. We literally were looking at it live. And we're talking about once it started, not beforehand. Nintendo always disables it before the start of a stream. Just curious if Nintendo UK was running away from the drop the price marks. Just curious. It doesn't really change anything. They did. Anthony W said they did disable it, so I switched to US. Okay. Yeah. That's interesting. Like Nintendo, you can't run from it. People are going to scream drop the price. Evil Ross says it wasn't disabled, but it was moderated. They heavily. Some people are saying they did. Some people say moderated. Link SSC is saying the chat's always disabled on the UK one. Oh, so is that just like a normal thing? Like they just never have a live chat on the UK streams? I mean, if that's just a normal thing, then they're not running from anything. They're just doing what they always do. See that, and that's the context I'm looking for. I don't watch the UK streams, so if they always disable the chat, then it's really not that big a deal. That's just what they always do. Taker 610 says so. June Direct feels like we need one. I've always thought there was going to be a June Direct. The system comes out at the beginning of June. It looks a lot more sense to have a towards the end of June Direct. You gotta market Bonanza coming out in a couple weeks after that, towards the end of June, and then you got to set up we have no release dates after Bonanza. We have no release dates, so they have to have a June Direct just to even set up the release slate with release dates.
Well, so think about it. I mentioned this actually earlier in the chat. So March 3rd, Switch 1 comes out. April 12th was our first Direct after the Switch 1 released, 2017. So less than 6 weeks later. June is always a staple. I know it's coming out in June, but June is always a staple for a direct. I think Donkey Kong gets its own direct, right? You would presume it's been 26 years since we've had a 3D Donkey Kong. You would presume that gets its own Donkey Kong Bonanza direct. And at the end of the direct, they're going to say, and by the way, all these characters are now in Mario Kart. I could see that happening. I truly could. Be very, very smart cross promoting. Yeah, June Direct. And then let me ask this, guys, when are we getting the Indie World? Because as of right now, we don't know. All we know for Indie really is like Hades 2. And if you want to consider Platonic, which, yeah, I would actually. They're an indie studio. So we know Hades 2, Ruffy in the Riverside, Yuka Replay. But as far as like Switch 2 exclusives for indie, we don't really know much. We're gonna need an Indie World, right, Nate?
Probably, like, obviously Hades 2 we know is a timed exclusive. Silk Song was announced as coming this year. I think the reason we're not getting an Indie World yet is those indies don't have it. Most indies don't have a dev kit. So I feel like Indie World probably won't be happening until later this year. Like September, October time. Like, because, again, think how tightly controlled all the information was coming out about Switch 2. I legitimately think most indies don't even have a dev kit. So once they get it in June, I'm not saying they're gonna have a hard time converting their games or whatever they're working on over. That's why I think like once they get dev kits in June, like what was reported, by the time we get to like September, October, November, like they'll be in Indie World. I think indies are the one thing that I think might be a little more scarce, like brand new ones outside of new ones that release on Switch 1 that just happen to work on Switch 2. But they won't specifically be for Switch 2. I think that's just going to be. I think that's par for the course. I remember indies being a little bit slow with PlayStation 5 as well, probably because they didn't have dev kits really before it came out.
So I got a list right here, Nate. Let me send this to you. This is really good. This is honestly super helpful for what we're talking about. And it's a legit perfect list mapped out of the directs, the dates, the times, the indie worlds.
Yep.
This might like give us a little bit of insight into how long it might take to get one based on what you're saying now.
Yeah. So this is on Nintendo Life, and it has like, obviously the Mario, the three of them so far this year in 2025, obviously 2024. You see like they did like their Indie World in April. Well, obviously we didn't get one of those. Indie World and Partner Showcase, kind of unique in 2024. You have the 2023 again. April Indie World seemed to be pretty common. November Indie World, a May Indie World, a November Indie World. So you can kind of see that like they tend to do like one towards the beginning, one towards the end. We didn't get the one towards the beginning this year, which feels like we're probably not going to get one till towards the end, which would make sense and line up with the idea of, hey, most indies just don't have a dev kit until the system comes out. Yeah, because this one's in December. Yeah, it seems a lot of like there's, this one had one, man, 2020 they went nuts.
Oh my god, yeah. Like,
Look at all the
absolutely
events.
ham.
Oh my god, that's a lot of events in 2020. Anyways, yeah, they had lots of indie worlds in 2020. They went insane then. Go back to 2017. They had the Nindies in February. And then they didn't have it again until August. So yeah, I think like anything August onwards for indies is probably the thing. Because again, they gotta get the dev kits. Like we know a bunch of indies that are saying, "Hey, our game's going to be on Switch too." I'm like, well, yeah, but they've also come out and said, "Yeah, well, we don't actually have a dev kit. We just know we're going to put it there." I'm like, okay, well, that doesn't help. But the You Could Replay the people literally when they were asked him the date after, "Hey, when's your game going to come on Switch 2?" He's like, "Well, We don't actually know. Well, it's because you don't have a dev kit yet. You haven't actually put it on Switch 2. You just know you're going to put it on Switch 2. Like there's a difference between committing to doing something before you have a dev kit and then having actually already done it. So that's why I think it's going to be a bit before we see an indie world. That's why I think that's actually why indies were in. I didn't expect indies to even be in the direct. I think that's why they were, because those two indies that they focused on heavily with Silk Song and Hades 2 probably have dev kits.
I gotta imagine, like if I'm thinking about indie studios, yeah, those two. The only other one that I feel like is a good chance that they have one, it would be Yacht Club, because of
Maybe.
the Shovel Knight. I mean, we have a Shovel Knight amiibo. Like they're homies with Nintendo. You know what I mean?
Talking of indies, Fast Fusion looks like a day one purchase. Yeah, that was another one that gets overlooked a lot, of Fast Fusion. But I mean, it makes sense. They were at launch of Switch, so they obviously had a dev kit for Switch before launch. Nothing seemed to leak out of them. Probably trust them again for the sequel for launch.
That game's going to be a technical, you know, showcase, I guess you could say, with the stats it's running.
Oh yeah, totally.
I mean, it's our F-Zero, right? A little bit.
Basically the F-Zero replacement.
Yeah.
Okay, so there probably could be a lot of other new information out here, and I mean we can spend all day trying to dig it up. This is how it happens after every direct. There's always new information that comes out, new discoveries people take from the footage and be like, oh, did you see this and notice that? Did you notice this character? As example, there's like 13 slots on the character selection. So that means with 12 characters per thing, it's like 156, character slots. And there could be even more if there's more pages beyond 13. Some people like that the costumes are individual slots. Some people don't like that the costumes are individual slots. Blah, blah, blah. There's 156 is a lot, but a lot of it is costume slots. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I like some of the references they made, like when the Mario Kart Super Racing sign they had, and they lined up all the characters from that. I was like, oh, that's cool. Little references to the OG, baby.
I agree. I thought that was really cool. That was nice to see.
Yeah, it's like that's where we started and look where we are now. It's a pretty neat, but that's like a nostalgia kick. Here's the bottom line: like I'm a huge Mario Kart fan, guys. So like, I was already sold on the $80 price beforehand because I know how many hours I'm going to put in. I mean, the longer this poll is up, the closer it's getting to 50-50. And I'd say I'm surprised, but I'm not. Like, so here's a great poll to run. We can end this one. We're at like 800 votes, so we're getting close to 50-50 on that. Let's set that aside. Set aside the game price. All right. Are you planning to buy a Switch 2? Because also, how many of those no say it's not worth it are also people that aren't getting a Switch 2 anyways? Because if you're not getting a Switch 2, then like, all right. I mean, maybe the game price is the reason you're not, but there's going to be other games. So let's see how many of those people are actually planning to buy one that said no, even if they're not going to get Mario Kart. Like, say they skip Mario Kart. Like, principle, we're not buying an $80 game. We're skipping Mario Kart. Yeah, and this isn't about getting a day one, guys. This is just in general. Do you plan to get a Switch 2 at any real point? Like, just even if it's for games that aren't announced yet. Like, if you just know in the back of your mind, yeah, someday I'm going to buy a Switch 2. Like, it's going to happen. Even if you're not going to buy Mario Kart. Like, you're going to stand on your principle and go, no, I'm not spending 80. That doesn't necessarily mean you don't think Donkey Kong's worth 70. Like that's a game that comes out in July.
The thing is like, hey, look, if you don't want to spend 80, just buy the bundle. Then you get Mario Kart for 50.
I think that's what Nintendo's whole plan is, to push the bundle really hard.
Yeah, they want that attach rate because I really do believe Mario Kart is going to be the driver. Like there's going to be a lot of what do you call it? Cross pollination promotion with other games. Like again, when DK comes out, don't be shocked if we get some DK content on Mario Kart.
So no surprise on the Nintendo stream that it's like 95.5 on planning to buy a Switch 2. So now the question is, what's going to be the split? in the audience on, yeah, you don't think it's worth $80, but are you spending it anyways? Are you going to buy Mario Kart World? So that's a completely different question. Yeah. Do you think the price is justified? Now, are you still going to buy it anyways? So let's see how that split goes. $5 coming in. Who would complain about the price of a console are probably the same people who would buy. Yeah. Well, I think what that poll also showed with the console is that people aren't that upset with the price of the system. As long as it holds and there's not like a massive increase due to tariffs or trade agreements and other stuff. If it holds at the 450, I think most people are okay with the price. Like they're not that bothered by it, even though, oh, it's the same price as like a PlayStation 5, all digital or whatever. Those are pretty much console warriors that are saying that, not most consumers. I think most consumers are fine with the price. But yeah, we want it to be cheaper, but for what the system does and what we're getting, it seems worth it for a lot of people just as a system. Are we streaking? Jesus Christ. Oh God. We are. God damn it. I take, but we're going streaking. Yes. Thanks so much, guys. We're streaking. I'm streaking anyways. I wasn't planning to have any. You know what? It adds to the streak. I'm not drinking a beer this morning. Sorry, I'm not doing that. I got way too much work ahead. You know, and if we hit the streak again tonight on the podcast, I don't want to have more than one of these. This is from last night. One of these MGD 64s. Don't want to have more than one of those a day for calorie reasons. So
MGD N64, baby.
Yeah, baby. That's what I should do.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go get another pack today. I should on here just write in permanent marker on every single one. MGD 64 for fun.
Yeah, that's awesome, man.
That'd be cool. Print off the logo and just color it inside it. So I just have like a stencil. So you know, here's the interesting thing. Obviously, we don't have as many votes, so I'll let the poll run for a little bit. But I mean, that's 80-20 that the people are going to buy Mario Kart when it was 55-45 on it being worth it. So I got to ask you guys, if you don't think it's worth $80, but you're buying it anyways, why are you buying it if it's not worth the money? It's a dead serious question. For those that are planning to buy it, even though they don't think it's worth 80, why are you doing it? Because I don't buy things that I don't think are worth the money. Now, I might regret the purchase after the fact, but I spend my money on things I think are worth it. I don't spend my money on things that I don't think are worth it. So like I've been this whole time since April 2nd, I thought it was worth it for me. Already pre-ordered Mario Kart World at your small local chain. Nice. Always nice seeing the small local chains supported. You know, those are always the ones that you really worry about going away. Like your giant Best Buys and Walmart, those are always going to be around. But the small local chains, those are the ones that are like, hey man, if people don't support that, especially with the way physical games are going, you know, kind of going away, you're starting to rely mostly on retro sales and stuff. But if we're at $3.99, better have that $3.69 challenge ready. Now there won't be a challenge for tonight. All that means is a giveaway on my next live stream if we hit 400. Let's see here. Yeah, Samara. Yeah, we figured out the transcontinental. It's not a word that we see very often. We figured out that it's just across the continent. Switch 2 Lite. Well, yeah, that's going to exist someday. Thank you for that super chat. Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt Switch 2 Lite's going to exist, right, Stash?
Yeah, 100%. That's basically Nintendo's way of having a dedicated handheld.
And it's a way to get a cheaper system out there for parents to buy for kids. That's really the target audience of the Lite. It always has been.
Yep. Helps build up that installed base too.
3D Mario launching with the movie next April. Maybe. We just talked about this in depth on the podcast last night. But yeah, maybe. We have no idea. It could also be this holiday. We have no clue. Just checking here. Swigging espresso shot. I don't actually I'm not a big coffee person. I don't have any espresso. I'm already having this is my morning caffeine, and I'll probably have one more of these at some point later today. It's only like half gone. I've actually drinking more of this water than I have. Have you guys noticed that on my streams? Those that watch it, that Prime is just, I used to suck down like 3 cans of soda, and now I'm like, it's mostly water. This happens to be flavored water, but even like standard water. Yeah, I gotta go to the store today and get some more water bottles and some more and Nintendo 64 beer. I was reading your tweets about Switch 2 dev kits and thought, couldn't it also be that Nintendo isn't handing that many dev kits because they want to stop parts hindering the apparent specs? What? I don't understand that statement. People will pay $80 for for a Woman of the Night, but complain about spending $80 for Mario Kart. It makes no sense. Well, to be fair, I think a lot of people, if they struggle to have a woman for themselves or a man for themselves, might find that to be a bargain. I don't know who you're getting for $80, but look, I wouldn't touch anyone for $80. That's not I ain't trusting that. That's all I'm gonna say. That seems too cheap for if you want to be safe. Oh my god. What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas, right? That's where it's legal. Let's see here. I'm just reading some of this. Okay. So Stash, you want to take some stuff from the chat? I'm going to try to set up our show for tonight so we can send people over there.
Yeah, let's see what we got here.
Because I got to make a thumbnail as well.
Anything and everything Garage asked, do we think pre-orders will still be next week? And we've said it a lot before, Nate. You've said it. I've said it on social media. I'm very tuned in, dialed into what's going on with pre-orders. You are too. But I have no problem saying that Jake Randall is,
oh my god,
the guy. You know what I mean? Like I know what's up. I've never had a problem getting pre-orders. I am on top of it. But I have no problem saying that there's someone out there who's better. Right? Like it's Jake. Jake knows what's up. He's been in the game for a long time when it comes to doing these things. He's got a lot of good tactics to it. Good strategies that other channels simply won't tell you, or they don't even know. If they knew, they'd probably tell you. But Jake seems to be really dialed into like what the dates are, right? And some of those dates that have been thrown out are the 21st, the 23rd, and the 30th. Those are the 3 dates that I know of, and I know because again, I'm dialed in on Twitter with everything, all the latest news and rumors. And I don't headline surf. I deep dive. Always have for all my news. So that's what I've seen. Like Target had that place. Some people thought it might be a placeholder date of April 30th, and there was like a date in Canada, and there's some speculation over Canada maybe opening pre-orders first and then the US after, which I don't see happening. I think it will all happen at the same time. So yeah, those are dates to keep in mind. 21st, 23rd, 30th. And I would just say, like follow Jake Randall, follow me on Twitter, follow Nate on Twitter. We will all know because we all follow each other. And when that breaks, we're going to let everybody know because that's part of our responsibility too, is to make sure that anyone who wants to get a Switch 2 is going to get one, right?
Yep.
We don't want anyone to be left out in the cold when it comes to Switch 2.
That is absolutely correct. There was a super chat, I believe. Let me go back here, put it up. From Sacred Fatalis, and it says The real question is how many games per year people are willing to buy at said price point. We are at a point in which people only buy one game a year. I mean, we're at a point where I think a huge chunk of people don't even buy games. They just play the free ones. Like they're perfectly happy with their Fortnites. They're perfectly happy with their Robloxes. They're perfectly happy with their Apex Legends. I mean, that's been true for a while with the audiences for those games. But I mean, the attach rate on Switch is huge. It's like 9-1, 10-1. So like it's pretty big. The attach rate. Obviously, you know, I think Nintendo knows, as does all these publishers. Not everyone buys multiple games a year, or when they do, sometimes it's like one big game and a bunch of smaller games. That's totally a thing. Ocarina of Time remake is what I want. Well, you know, we all want that, I think, but we'll see. Yeah, I think it's an interesting thing just to think about in general. You know, I don't know, man. It's I just buy you know, obviously video games are expensive. It's always been an expensive hobby as far back as I can remember. It's actually kind of cheaper today, and I'm not talking about inflation. I'm talking because free to play didn't exist when I was a kid. That wasn't even a thing. We had N64 games listed at over $100 in the 90s. So like I already wasn't someone when I was a kid that actively was buying a bunch of games. I was renting. But like the thing is that makes it so hard today when you start to see prices go up is that game renting is not like a normal thing anymore. It still exists. It's called GameFly.
GameFly.
But most people don't know about it or use it. So
We didn't buy a ton of games growing up. Like a lot of the games that I bought because, well, I started working at a pretty damn young age, right?
sure.
Even my oldest brother, started a lawn mowing business, and it was actually making bank back then. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like there's ways to earn money even if you're not of legal age to work. But it was expensive. Parents weren't going to pay for that. There's certain times that you can get a game. And honestly, replay value was something that my parents took into great consideration if we were going to buy a game. Like the games we bought were like Madden, NBA Live, NBA Jam, games that you can literally play over and over and compete against and play together because it's a game you guys will both like. It's multiplayer. That was a big deal back then. Otherwise, like you're renting games and you're going to Blockbuster on $1.50 Tuesdays. You know what I mean? Like
That was the way. Yep.
yeah, you're going on the discount day. If there's a deal to be had, that's how you're getting it. And then of course we went to Gamers, which was like always a good deal at Gamers, but we rented everything. Like I've said this so many times before, but I had a visual mental photo of like where every single game is and Blockbuster and in Gamers. And so if there was something new, I'd spot it immediately. That's how it was. That's how you found new games because we didn't have firm release dates growing up. It was like, releasing 1995 or releasing holiday 95 or quarter
Yep.
3 or fall. It's like, all right, well, I'll keep an eye out for the next, 90 days.
Yeah. I think that well, renting isn't like normal today, although GameFly we actually have a super chat where someone brought up that GameFly is awesome and they do use it and they are going to be adding Nintendo Switch 2 games. So it's an awesome service people should take advantage of. I try to remember that, Nintendo enabled virtual game sharing. And obviously you've always been able to borrow physical games of friends. I mean, that might be the way to go, especially as games get more expensive, is not everyone has to buy the same game. Especially when it's single player experiences. You guys can just share them. Like That's what I would be doing. That's what I probably will be doing. Eric's joining my NSO account for Switch 2. We're gonna be sharing because he'll buy some games that I don't have, and I'll buy some games he doesn't have. Now, obviously, the one thing we don't know with virtual game sharing yet is if it applies to anything more than Nintendo games. That's the one caveat, is we don't know if it applies to third party and indie. I would love for it to. I would hope it would, but Nintendo can't force those companies to support that feature. But I do think that gaming's just always been expensive in my life. There's a reason you guys don't see stacks of physical games behind me like a Stasher's house. I've been through some financial times, man. All my physical games got sold at one point. I used to have a bunch, don't anymore. And it's wild thinking how expensive the hobby's just kind of always been. And people don't like talking about it, but console gaming, I'm talking specifically about console because now there's so many ways to game, right? You're gaming on your phone, you're gaming on cheap $50 Amazon tablets. Like there's so many different ways to game that didn't exist when we were younger. But console gaming's one, it's niche. And if you don't think it's niche, consider this. Microsoft just put out there that there's 3 billion people playing video games in the world. Console gaming makes up like 300 million. That's niche to the grander gaming landscape. It's niche. So console gaming's always kind of been luxury gaming. It's a luxury if you can be a console gamer because it's expensive, $70. We talked about all the digital deluxe editions and all that stuff. Like, it's a luxury. It sucks that it's a luxury. And I know for a while, I think what sucks is that handheld gaming felt like the budget way. Your Game Boy, your DS, games are $40. They're not the 60, they're not the 100, they're 40. That's your top price. Maybe you occasionally rarely see a 50, but that was more affordable, more budget. And that's gone away. Now that Nintendo's combined home console and handheld together, that just doesn't exist anymore. That budget way to game kind of went away. That's what their handhelds were. So now it's just all console expensive gaming. Besides obviously the free-to-play stuff. So, and obviously indies. Gotta always give it a shot. The indies have kind of brought the budget stuff back. But when people are looking to buy a system, they're usually looking at the big games being advertised. They're not looking at the smaller games. Some people are. Some people will buy Switch 2 just because that, Hades 2 is the system seller for them. It's their day one and they don't want to wait. When I say day one, I don't know if it's a launch game, but I mean it launches first on Switch. It'll be on PC, I think, too, but first on console on Switch 2. So it's interesting times. Crispy Hipster comes in and said, I just hope with everything going on with tariffs, etc., they actually announce a new pre-order date and don't just drop them live with no notice. I don't think that's happening. They pre-announced the pre-order date before. Obviously, we have concerns because some retailers are apparently leaking out that it's next week, the 21st or the 23rd. I mean, look, if it's for sure next week, I think retailers will say something ahead of time because Nintendo didn't announce the retail date. Retailers did. So it's on retailers to communicate. Well, first it's up to Nintendo to tell retailers they can take pre-orders. And then it's on the retailers to universally communicate what day that is. Right now, there's no communication. We don't know if Nintendo's told retailers what day it is, and retailers are all waiting. So they make sure when they announce the date this time, it's not delayed again. It could be one of those things as well, because they got burned with the delay. So maybe they're not as quick to jump the gun. They're not going to give us a week warning. They're going to give us a day warning, 2-day warning, just so they know this time pre-orders won't get canceled. Because the bottom line is we know pre-orders. Nintendo has not moved the May 8th pre-order date. They're doing the May 8th pre-orders on the My Nintendo store. So it's got to be by then at the latest. So, yeah. We'll have to wait and see. I don't really know. Even like the tariff comment technically wasn't directly from Nintendo. It was inadvertently from Nintendo through retail. Did retail add in the tariff remark or did Nintendo say the tariff remark? We don't know. We don't know. We don't have the internal email communications. We don't know. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. I hope it's next week. If it's not, it's got to be by May 8th, right? Because it would be hilarious if we get to May 8th and that's the only way to pre-order is through Nintendo.
Yeah. I mean, you think about it, the 5th or 6th, the 6th, because there's 31 days in May, but you'd think right there because that's a month. You'd think retailers need a month, but then again, we can go back to what we've originally discussed, I originally brought up many times is look at how iPhone did it. Announcement, pre-order, in your hands. All that happened 10 days. So to say retail needs a month to me was always inaccurate. They really don't. People were buying iPhones. iPhones are 2 to 3 times more expensive than the Switch, too. So it's not a money thing either. It's not a price.
Mm-hmm.
So they could, I mean, they could wait longer. Do I think they will? Probably not. And the Switches are here. Like they're in the US. We know that. We know that much.
Yeah. Yeah. The shipping manifests don't lie. There are millions of Switch 2s in the United States right now. Like when I say millions, it's probably around like 2 million right now. It could hit 3 over the next month or two. Okay, so as I have that set up and let that go. So yeah, I think I don't know. This is the pre-order situation is just a whole separate topic, and maybe we get an announcement today, even or tomorrow. That I gotta say, like, because I already knew I was committed to buying Mario Kart 8, and I already felt it was worth the price for me. The only awkwardness coming into this direct was the pre-orders that we just don't even know. We still don't know when we can buy this game like ahead of time. Like when can we pre-order? We keep hearing limited. Okay, limited physical copies. So when can I try to get one? When can I get the bundle? I don't know. It's a very. I always thought that this would be clarified before the direct, but you got to remember all the communications for this stuff are coming from retail. Retail doesn't run the direct. So I am curious if like Nintendo has told retail and they're all just holding. I think that is entirely possible. They're holding in case Nintendo's communication tells them, hey, wait, we still might raise the price. It's up to you if you want to take pre-orders right now. So we'll see what happens. It is funny watching like UK being like the third wave of pre-orders already. While we haven't even had wave 1. Wild. It's wild watching other countries that have the pre-orders live and everyone's like happily pre-ordering and everything's all good. And then we're over here just like, yeah, we're the number 1 consumer base and we still can't spend money on this. I'm sure that doesn't make Nintendo feel good either. It's not like they wanted to be in this situation, but yeah, I do think look, Nintendo's pre-order hasn't changed their pre-order date. They haven't changed release dates. So, and we now know that the 90-day thing goes past June 5th. So yeah, I think pre-orders are going up next week or the week after. I think they want them up. I think retail is going to want them up before the 8th, before the Nintendo ones. Because all the Nintendo ones are going to do is take customers away from retail. So, and you got to remember, there's more to pre-order. And like everyone's focusing on the system. You realize we have all this other shit to pre-order.
I was going to say the same thing, dude. Like we have to do the rest, everything else.
Like we're all just talking about the system might be the easiest thing to get.
It might be, which is weird because again, like for anyone who doesn't know in chat, there's word on the street. I don't know where the exact source came from, Nate. You might know, but apparently it's supposed to be very hard to get physical games.
Yeah.
And some of the accessories, but for sure physical games.
Physical games and accessories are going to be extremely limited. That's the word. Comes from retail sources from Nintendo and Wario 64. Extremely limited. So it's like, okay, that means there's significantly more systems than physical accessories and games. Which, again, the game thing you can understand because like they have like a 50-50 split with physical and digital on Switch 1 for sales. So you can kind of understand that, hey, plus what's the big physical game? It's Mario Kart, but then also they have a bundle, right? So they probably figure they don't need as many. There's word on the street that 70% of the Switch 2 units in the US are the bundle for launch. So then that means, okay, well, that means there's only that 30% left that they would even consider. Like, what's that 30% they're making available at retail? That's how many copies of Mario Kart World maybe they have out there. And it's going to feel significantly less than the amount of, obviously, systems that are available to buy. But you also wonder, okay, fine. That might be true for Mario Kart World. What about all the other launch games? Are we just going to ignore there's other launch games?
Right.
You know, Hogwarts Legacy is a launch game. How many physical copies of that are rolling around?
Cyberpunk,
Street
Street Fighter.
Especially after Cyberpunk committed to the full thing and DLCs all on cart, that's going to create demand. People are going to appreciate that a massive AAA game said, no, we ain't game keying you. We're giving you everything on cart, and it's $10 cheaper than the buying it all digital on PlayStation right now. Like,
Yeah, that was a power move.
yeah, they want to be a go-to third party for Nintendo. That's what that move tells me.
Same here. Really does, man.
They want to build confidence. They want that. By the way, that also tells me I think Witcher 4 is probably coming to Switch too. That's their next big one. We got Witcher 3 on Switch, so I don't want to hear that it's crazy. We literally got Witcher 3 on Switch, and everyone thought that couldn't happen.
Yeah. And again, we talked about it a little bit last night, but what are the odds that we get a Switch 2 edition of The Witcher 3?
It's gonna be sick.
I mean, I hope they're good. I feel like they should be. I think it's logical. I did not buy Witcher 3 on Switch.
Sure.
I own it on PS5, but I'll tell you what, if it came out on Switch 2 and I can play it anywhere I want,
Yeah.
because that's a game that you put a lot of hours into, as we know. Another reason why RPGs just did so damn well on Switch is that you can play it anywhere. You can play it in bed. You can play it in the car. If you don't have to drive, they require so many hours, especially if you're a completionist. So I would totally buy that on Switch too.
Absolutely.
They got to have that mindset, right?
Absolutely, yes. All right, guys. Well, I think we'll call it there. Sash and I can keep talking all day with you guys. It's fun. But we got a podcast tonight. Work to do, of course. I'll get at least a video out later today. Hopefully, pre-order dates. I'm not going to get to work on a video right away. I'm going to take a small break. Sash has got to go do his job as well. But we'll be back tonight with the full crew. If anyone else happens to sneak in, like if N64 Josh ends up sneaking in, that's totally up to him. I'll reach out to him to see if he's got the time. He's the Mario Kart guy.
Yes.
I want to hear all tonight. We'll give all our thoughts on all the modes. We'll probably revisit the price thing because I know that's what everyone wants to talk about. But we probably won't spend a lot of time on that. We want to focus on the game. But the bottom line is the price is what it is. So let's just talk about what the game actually is and talk about the modes and what we're excited for. What new discoveries have been made from now until then, because so much stuff they showed and didn't even talk about. And then all the new characters that, we might have a new character list there that we have confirmed now of characters that they didn't even mention, because they only mentioned the 3 specific new ones, and yet they showed the character select screen and there was all these other new ones that I'm like, wait a second, why is there a crab? Why is there that enemy? You didn't talk about any of these. What are the so like yeah, so it's gonna be cool. So we'll be back tonight, guys. Thank you for being here, and yeah, we'll see you.
Thank you, friends. See you tonight.